All right, we should be live now. Yeah, we should be.
All right, we're live now.
Okay, we are live, Eric.
Hello, everybody. This is EricVierthaler92, and I am here for another movie talk with the movie.
Okay, we are live, Eric.
Hello, everybody. This is EricVierthaler92, and I am here for another movie talk with the movie.
Okay, we are live, Eric. Yeah. Wait, why is that happening?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
Do you have it open?
Huh? I was going to say that's going to be distracting if it's going to keep doing that. I was going to say that's going to be...
Yeah, I don't know why that was happening. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I really hope it's not going to be doing that the whole time.
What happened, Eric?
I was going to say, I really hope it's not going to do that throughout the whole thing.
I hope not. What happened, Eric?
I was going to say,
Why is that happening? I hope not.
Yeah, why is it like...
Why is that happening? Wait, I think it's... Okay, I know why. I know why. Sorry. It's good now. Eric?
Yeah?
It's good now. I know what it was.
What was it?
I had it open on another page.
Oh, well, that's why.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so... all right, so we both saw the new Spider-Man. And,
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I actually liked it a lot. I did a review on it. What was it? Yesterday, actually. The rating that I gave the movie was a 7 out of 10.
And you didn't give it a higher score. Why?
Why didn't I give it a higher score?
Yeah.
Well, there were issues that I had with Mysterio as a villain.
Even though that it was interesting that they cast Jake Gyllenhaal, it's because of the fact that I'm not sure if you know the fact that Jake Gyllenhaal actually almost replaced Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was like the backup Spider-Man if anything happened.
Mm-hmm. And it's just really interesting by the fact like that they cast him in this. And so even though he didn't play Peter Parker, but I mean, he did finally get a shot in a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, exactly.
What were some of the issues that you had with him?
So I liked him as a character. My problem is I wish we had more character development from him. Mm-hmm. I wish that we saw more of how he became evil. Now, I know they showed it like in that twist. Eric?
Right, but you just kind of wish that there was more?
Yeah, I wish there was more of him. I felt like I really love how he, made Peter Parker feel like he was a good guy the whole time, and he was defeating evil. That was pretty cool.
At that scene where Peter gave him the glasses, I just had that feeling like something was off during like that scene. And then, and then after that, the twist happened, and I was like, "Oh, Peter, you really screwed up here." But then, but what I loved is the fact and like that they really dwelled on the fact like just how bad Peter felt, and like that he felt like that he let Tony down, and
yeah.
But yeah, do you think that Tony Stark in a way is kind of like the Uncle Ben of like?
Oh no, he
like
is
Uncle Ben of this Spider-Man universe.
Yes, he is the total Uncle Ben character, and I'm so happy that we don't have Uncle Ben, like an actual Uncle Ben, and
right.
They could have just used Tony Stark to fill up the part for him.
Right, and it's like we just had 2 previous movie versions with Uncle Ben, going through the whole thing about him getting shot. It's like, just at this point, it just would have been too redundant. I mean, would it have been nice? And yeah, it would have been nice to have Uncle Ben, but at the same time, though, it definitely was smart on their part not to have Uncle Ben. It's just, it's like, that's like saying that I'm going to tell you the same joke over and over again. It's just after a while, it's just going to get old. And
so you're happy also that there's no Uncle Ben.
Right, and you know, I'm not saying that I hate the character, and
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I first saw the very first Spider-Man, you know, the very first Sam Raimi one, at the part where Uncle Ben died, I actually bawled my eyes out.
No, and this is the thing. Going back to Spider-Man, the old ones, when we're talking about Uncle Ben, there was also the fact that they pretended, oh, in Spider-Man 3, you killed the wrong guy that killed Uncle Ben.
Yeah, I mean, do I understand why they did that? It was because they want to play up on the theme of revenge. I totally get that, but just to me, and you may or may not agree, but it just kind of felt shoehorned in.
Yeah.
Man, it also kind of made, you know, some of the characters look very, very incompetent.
Right.
But yeah, oh
Everyone
yeah,
knows. Oh yeah, so this is a spoiler review, Eric. So you could talk whatever you
oh
want.
yeah.
Free.
So
Feel
one
free
thing
to talk about
I
whatever.
wanted to
So
talk about.
yeah, so we have somebody interesting here. His name is Nathan Spratt. He said everyone knows Spider-Man is Peter Parker now. I love that about this movie. That was a great part.
Which actually was, in my opinion, the
That's a
funniest part of
callback.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I
By
feel
far, the funniest part was at the very end, like when Aunt May found out, and then
yeah.
she was like, "What the?" And then they cut away. I'm like, that is just too funny.
But I feel like them knowing that he's Spider-Man, it's a callback for him to be, you know, like it's a callback to Iron Man when Iron Man said, "Yo, I am Iron Man," and he told everybody.
Right. But although the difference is that Iron Man was willing to
Yeah.
allow Spider-Man.
Oh, Jonah Jameson.
Oh yeah, Jonah Jameson. I was really want to talk about that. You know, honestly, I was starting to think that J.K. Simmons was never gonna reprise his role.
Yeah.
And I was starting to think that maybe that they would just cast like Sam Elliott, maybe they would cast Ice Cube, but I actually am very happy like that they cast J.K. Simmons. And now normally for a reboot, I would want them to get an entirely new cast. But the thing is, J.K. Simmons is just that perfect as that role. I mean, he's just that perfect.
Zombie Iron Man. Yeah, that was pretty cool to see a zombie Iron
That
Man.
was cool. But how did you feel about J.K. Simmons reprising his role?
I thought that was pretty cool. I wish we got to see more of J.K. Simmons. He was always so interesting.
Right, and we definitely will see more of him in the next one. I'm pretty certain like that they will. And I mean, even though that he doesn't have the famous haircut anymore, like, you know, that J. Jonah Jameson had, but I mean, that's just minor.
Yeah.
But it's just that, you know, but it's just like that. At least that we got him back. And I mean, you know, that matters a lot more than what his hair looks like.
Yeah. Love that we got him back. The only issue I had with that was we didn't see him throughout the whole movie. So what's he got against Spider-Man right now?
Well, they probably might play up on that in the sequel. I mean,
so we're not seeing J.K. Simmons till the third Spider-Man movie.
Well, even though that we saw him in this,
yeah,
but it was very, very minor. And I mean, of course, knowing his character, he's probably gonna misunderstand him and think that he's a menace.
Well, this is honestly what's great about Spider-Man, because Spider-Man has always been misunderstood. He always tries to do stuff for good, but it always comes out looking like he did it for bad. Something that has always been part of the Spider-Man story.
Which about that, so I remember when I was a kid, I actually read, you know, like the old Spider-Man comic books, and I even read some of the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. But
yeah,
one of the things I thought was so interesting about the old comics was the fact that Aunt May hated Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. That was so interesting. It was because of the fact that, and like that, her own grandson, nephew, whichever. I don't know if Peter would be her nephew or grandson or whichever, but I mean, it was so interesting. It was because that, you know, her own family member was Spider-Man, and that was so interesting. And I've been wanting them to adapt that in a movie. Now, do I understand why they haven't done it? It was because of the fact that we already had, Harry hating Spider-Man in the original trilogy, and then in the And then in the new ones, well, the ones with Andrew Garfield, we had in like that Gwen's dad didn't like Spider-Man, and so they probably didn't want to be too redundant about that. But did you ever read any of the Spider-Man comics when you were younger?
I did, but I was actually, to be honest, I was more interested in the Spider-Man animated series.
Right.
I really liked it. It was one of my favorite cartoons. Besides Batman, animated series was my favorite. But if I had to say, I think I actually liked it more than the Superman one. Really loved how they did the Spider-Man. The only thing I don't like about this whole Spider-Man Homecoming in this one is there's no Gwen Stacy. And
right, but I also understand why they. I also understand.
But I felt like she's so integral into what changes Peter Parker. Because she's technically supposed to be like his first love, you know?
Right.
I mean, yeah, and Mary Jane comes later on, so that's another gripe I have with this Spider-Man. But I do love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I don't know if he's still the best though. Would you rank him as the best Spider-Man?
Well, he's definitely up there. For me, it's kind of hard to do that because that, you know, I think that Tobey Maguire really nailed in like the nerdy aspect of Peter Parker. But yeah, as far as Spider-Man goes, you know, I thought he made a better Peter Parker than Spider-Man. But I also thought that Andrew Garfield made a better Spider-Man than a better Peter Parker. And with Tom Holland, I mean, there are definitely times like when he's awkward, but I mean, he's kind of more of like the funny kind of awkward, like while like with Toby, I mean, he was just so awkward. He was just awkward.
I loved how Tobey Maguire was. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Too,
not to take anything away from Tom Holland. I think Tom Holland is fantastic. And he's probably, to me, it's so close to choose between. Maybe I need to see more from Tom Holland. But right now, I still give the slight edge to Toby. For me, it's Toby, Tom, and Garfield. And I feel like Garfield could have been a lot better, but he had the worst script and the worst director for him.
I sometimes think that the only reason why they got Mark Webb is only because of his
name. Yeah. Like the first Spider-Man was decent. It wasn't bad. It was watchable, you know, whatever. But Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oof. Oh man, how one's
yesterday when I did my review, I was going through the Spider-Mans. I was trying to rank them. I ranked that as the worst Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I can understand why. Man, it's even more frustrating because the fact that they obviously never learned their lesson from Spider-Man 3 by having too many villains and cramming too much into one movie. And then it was. Now, do I understand that they want to set up their own universe because, you know, that's what Marvel has been doing? I understand that, but you also have to give us a movie like that we actually care about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's also the same problem with Batman v Superman and the 2017 Mummy
reboot.
It's.
I got a question here. Somebody says they hate nerdy Spider-Man, but Spider-Man is supposed to be nerdy.
Right. I mean, you know, that's just the character.
Yeah, the whole character is him being a nerd. That's one thing I don't like about Tom Holland. Also, I don't get the nerd vibe from him. Just don't.
Yeah, that's where I was getting at. I mean, like I said,
Tobey Maguire played it the best because he was so awkward. He was nerdy. It was just, the only bad thing about Tobey Maguire is when it got to Spider-Man 3. And that's when it went too much.
Yeah, with the whole emo Peter. Yeah. That has been talked about to death at this point. And so we really don't need a...
No, we don't. But I'm saying, if that had not happened, poof. I think that series could still be going on. That was the death of Spider-Man right there.
Another problem was that the producers and the studio really forced Sam Raimi to have Venom, and like when Sam Raimi never even wanted to have Venom in it.
Yeah. Also, what I'm happy about this Spider-Man franchise is they have one villain, they concentrate on that villain, they build him up and whatever. But that's where this movie okay, the last one, Spider-Man: Homecoming, they showed the Vulture as a normal guy, and they showed how he became the Vulture, and I like that better. In this one, they did it kind of like reverse. They showed us who Mysterio is. Well, they kind of showed us who we think he is. You know? And we find out douchebag.
Right, and I mean, I think that kind of goes with his character because the fact that a lot of the things that he does is all an illusion, and so the fact that they made us think that he was a good guy at first, it definitely really fit this character.
And the thing is, we didn't need that. I mean, it was kind of cool to see him do that, but we didn't need that because the audience is not stupid. We know that guy's a bad guy. Everybody knew from the beginning. It's not a spoiler to say Mysterio is bad. Like, everybody knows that.
That also was why that I had that feeling that something was off, like when Peter gave him, like
the glasses. Let's talk about the glasses. I thought that was really fun and interesting.
Oh, was it? Especially when Peter tried to kill that.
Yeah, he tried to kill that guy.
He was trying to get with.
Well, he wasn't trying to kill him. He was trying to delete the photo. But obviously that was
Right, and then after that whole thing backfired, and then it was gonna kill him, and then
that was another. Sorry, Eric. There was just another issue, and this guy brought it up. He says barely any Mysterio making illusion scenes. I wanted more of those. They were so entertaining.
Oh, I understand that, but I mean, Did
you watch this movie in 3D?
I did not. It's just that I just wanted to see the movie, and I didn't really care if it was in 3D or not. I just wanted to see it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I saw it in 3D, and I wish I didn't because it was like crazy with the illusions. That was the best part in the 3D.
Oh, I can imagine, but yeah, it's just I don't really care to see a movie in 3D or not. It's just that if I'm gonna see a movie in 3D, I would want it to see it in like a really really big screen, like kind of like with like the IMAX. Yeah, I have an IMAX, but it's just that my IMAX just isn't like as cool as other. Mine is just not as cool as like the ones in like California and Michigan and so and so.
Yeah, we have somebody in the chat says, "What's up, Eric?"
What up, guys and gals? But yeah, so what'd you think of the whole romance with Ned and that one other girl?
See, that was pretty funny.
It was,
but I didn't like. See, this is what it pissed me off when they broke up. They were so perfect together. Why did they break up?
Right, and that kind of caught me off guard. And it's like, okay, well, that was random, and maybe they might play up on that in the sequel. But if not, and then it's kind of like, well, if they're gonna break up and you don't really explain why, and if it's not really gonna impact the story, then why even have it?
Another thing is when they did break up, they even did it in a way where it seemed like they worked together with the breakup and everything. I don't know why they did it. There was no need for that because I thought they were such a fun couple, so interesting. I want to see them more in the next Spider-Man movies, and they broke up. And I know it's not really about them, but still, it was cool to see them together.
Right.
They had a good dynamic.
I mean, they didn't have to have it, but at the same time, that also definitely would have helped.
Yeah. But I think they did that on purpose. I think they want him to be single to help Peter Parker.
Yeah, that would make sense. But at the same time, though, it would have been nice to see those two together still.
Someone said Amir is actually Night Monkey. I wish.
But yeah, I mean, that whole part when they called him Night Monkey,
that was
like one of the funniest parts.
That was so funny, and I was so happy when they went that route with the Night Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
what did you think of the? Man, I like the Elementals, but it really pissed me off when I found out the Elementals are fake and everything is an illusion and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I mean, at the same time, though, it is a part of his character.
Yeah, but it's like it was so cool to see like a water monster destroy stuff and a fire monster, and they fight them, and it's like, it's so cool.
Yeah, and I mean, at least it's not like in Godzilla 2014 and like where the fight's about to happen and just cut away.
Yeah. Water Elemental was gay. Now I like the fire one. I thought the fire one was cool.
I thought that those kind of reminded me of Sandman from Spider-Man 3, kind of.
No, you're absolutely right. I was thinking the same thing. That they reminded me of that. What's up, Tommy H? We're just talking about Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh yeah, a question. So
yeah,
do you think that Tom Hardy's Venom is eventually going to?
Oh my God, it has to.
Tom Holland's Spider-Man?
Eric, it has to. What I hope is somehow they can talk to Sony and be like, look, we want to put Venom in our movie. We already have Spider-Man from you. We need to get Venom in here somehow because the fans would like it and we will split the profit. Because you know what the funny thing is about these Spider-Man movies? They are created by Marvel, but all the money still goes to Sony. Mm-hmm. I would love the fact that Venom could somehow get into the Marvel and they could put him back into this. He would be, I would love to see Venom to be a villain in this movie.
And luckily for Disney/Marvel, I mean, the fact that Disney's already making so much money off of like these live action remakes and all these other Disney movies, the fact and like that, they don't really have to worry too much about losing money. And so, and then, and also, and if they were to bring in Venom into it, I mean, it would make them so much money. And so it's like, if it's going to make you that much money, why not?
Yes. What was your favorite location? Somebody asks in the chat.
I thought it was cool with like that water monster, like the boats. I thought that was cool. And, man, it's also cool to see Spider-Man somewhere else besides New York City, and especially the fact that this is like the 8th Spider-Man movie, and so eventually you're gonna have to mix it up. And it was cool to see him, do his thing. And
but this is one thing I don't get. The adults in the movie. This gave me more like a Stephen King vibe. You know how like in the Stephen King, the adults act like kids and the kids act like adults? That's what was going on in this movie. And it was kind of strange to me. They were so carefree and they almost died how many times?
Right. And I think they did that for comedy relief.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but it's like, but at the same time, it doesn't make it feel that realistic. But at the same time, though,
it's Spider-Man, so it's not supposed to be realistic.
Right.
But I just wish. See, the thing. This is why I think Batman is the best, because you can make it realistic and it works. And that's why the Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and Dark Knight Rises is the best trilogy, and I think will always be, because there's a sense of realness. Now, Spider-Man, you can't really do that, but I felt like, damn, these guys are just so, they just don't want to go home or whatever's going on.
Right.
Like, why aren't they? I would be running to go home after the water monster.
Right. Oh, yeah. And what I also thought was idiotic, but at the same time, though, people in real life do that. Like that part where Flash Thompson was trying to take a selfie with some of like the monsters.
Yeah.
Even though, it's a stupid thing to do, but at the same time, though, people nowadays do stupid
Flash
stuff like that. So
Flash Thompson.
But also like the fact, like all of Flash's live videos is pretty much why that they all got saved.
Flash Thompson is so interesting, Eric, because he likes Spider-Man, but he doesn't like Peter Parker, and he doesn't know that they're the same. So, but now he should know because everybody knows. So,
right, and I was about to say,
will treat him differently now that he knows that he's Spider-Man.
I think so. I mean, he's probably not going to want to mess with Peter now because he's probably going to be afraid of a lot like that. He'll do like he'll tie him up in spider webs or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that maybe in the sequel, Peter might either try to accept the fact that everyone knows he's Spider-Man, or maybe he's gonna try to, figure out some way he's gonna try to figure out some way how he can make people not think he's Spider-Man anymore. So
yeah,
like that he might partner like with Shield or something, and try to fix that. Maybe.
Do you think that him wearing the black suit is a callback to like how Spider-Man wore the black suit in Spider-Man 3?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So that means that Venom should be coming soon, and maybe they can somehow work a deal to get Tom Hardy in there.
But yeah.
So wait, Eric, one quick thing. This guy says Mary Jane is not hot.
In the new one?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, younger than me too. So.
But yeah, I mean,
what do you think? What do you think of the Mary Jane?
well,
actually,
she definitely has a different personality than the Mary Jane that we're used to. But
I miss Kirsten Dunst. She was perfect.
I do too. But speaking of Kristen Dunst, you never see her in movies anymore.
She fell off the earth.
Right. It's like whatever happened to her?
She was such a big actress at one time, and then I don't know what happened to her.
Man, then she just kind of vanished. Even the same thing happened with Toby. It's like, I think all he does is independent movies, and and he was Spiderman once, and it's like out of all of them, the one who really got a career was James Franco.
I do agree, though. I do feel something about this Mary Jane. Maybe we have to see her in more movies, but I just feel like she's like another girl. Because Mary Jane is not supposed to be so accepting of Peter Parker right away. And in this movie, it's just like she likes him already.
And it definitely was a huge shock twist, that she actually was MJ in Homecoming.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. It's because their personalities are so different. But yeah, I definitely think with Peter's awkwardness and her personality, it does make it interesting, and it can definitely lead to a lot of comedic moments in the movie. So how'd you feel about her personality, about how she's kind of more of like a smart aleck?
Yeah, I feel like I thought that's how Mary Jane is supposed to be, kind of, but she's a little bit too much in this movie. She acts like she knows a lot. She even predicted the fact that she knew that he was Spider-Man. That is something that kind of pisses me off in a way, because it's like Mary Jane's not supposed to be able to figure that out. Not that quickly. Maybe a little bit later, but not that quickly. That's only the second movie, and she's already figured out his character.
Right.
He is.
And I also was expecting them to play up more on the fact that Aunt May now knows he's Spider-Man. And
yeah, they didn't play on that. They played on it a little bit when she put it in his suitcase or whatever, but it's hard to play on it when she's in America and he's in Europe somewhere.
Right. So
what did you think of Aunt May and that guy having a love thing going on?
Happy Hogan?
Yeah, Happy Hogan.
I wasn't expecting that, but I thought that it led to the funny moments, and when Peter would ask him if something was up, and then Happy would turn it down, Mom, and then Aunt May, Happy would say yes, and then Aunt May would say no, and so
you know what's really funny though? I thought Tom Holland was really young, and I looked up his age, and I found out he's 22 years old. He's not. I thought he was when I look at him, I see a 16-year-old. He looks super young.
Well, the reason why they cast him when they were trying to find a new Spider-Man,
at that time he was probably 18 or something.
Because Peter is supposed to be in high school, and
and
then if they were to have hired a minor could only work for so many hours, and
legal reasons.
And so, and therefore, it actually was very smart on their part to have somebody who's legal age, but at the same time, somebody who looks younger.
And I do have a problem with the Aunt May too, though. Somebody says something about Aunt May, and the reason I have a problem with Aunt May is she looks too young, and Aunt May's not supposed to be that young, and I just don't think you should be ever attracted to Aunt May.
Which is funny, is because when they first announced that Marissa Tomei is going to play Aunt May.
I love Marissa Tomei. She's excellent, but yeah.
I saw this comment on Facebook, and it really made me laugh. Somebody said I shouldn't be having a boner for Aunt May.
Yeah, no, seriously. She is really attractive. Marissa Tomei is really attractive.
She is. And it also was funny, when they actually played up on that, and they joked about that one part of Captain America
We have
Civil War.
We have a really good question saying, "What's the next Spider-Man movie?" We don't know.
We don't know what it's called, but if I had to guess, probably would come out in like 2 or 3 years.
We don't know what it's called. We don't know who the villain is. We don't know much. We just know that everybody knows that he's Spider-Man.
Although I heard a rumor like that Scorpion might be the next villain, but I mean, we don't really know.
It's too early. Like the whole thing is this is supposed to close out the Avengers, and then they're gonna start. Avengers Phase 4 is now gonna start.
Yeah, like that. This is the last movie of Phase 3, and now they're going to
because the reason was
4.
Spider-Man: Homecoming. If you remember, Iron Man was a big part of it. Now they're showing Spider-Man how he's supposed to live without Iron Man, which is a big deal because he's the Uncle Ben character.
So
yeah,
what's going to be the next movie in Phase 4? Is it going to be the Black Widow movie?
Oh man, I hope not. I don't see the reason that they even made that movie. It's just a little too late.
Right, and I do feel like it's too late because of the fact that they killed her off in Endgame. So it's like they should have done it when she was still alive.
I mean, they can always bring back Black Widow, but I never cared for her character, honestly, because we never had a standalone movie. And we don't know anything about her. She's too independent. And that's why they killed her off in Avengers. That's why when Hawkeye was trying to kill himself instead of her, I knew Hawkeye wouldn't die because he had an arc. He had a family, all this. I want to see a Hawkeye movie. I don't really want to see a Black Widow movie that badly, to be honest with you. And nothing against her. It's just we didn't get anything from her.
I think that maybe one reason why they're making the Black Widow movies because of how Wonder Woman was a huge hit and
but Wonder Woman didn't die in Justice League. Like,
well, I know that, but it's like excuse me, they just want to cash in on the female superhero thing.
And Wonder Woman, they started off with Wonder Woman. Like we knew we were gonna get a solo movie, and we know Wonder Woman is huge in the Justice League. Black Widow, you could do a whole Avengers movie without Black Widow.
Yeah.
There's a few people in the Avengers that really pissed me off because they never got their solo movies, and they really should have worked on them. And she's one of them. I'm always was wondering why they never did one for her. Because she's very important in those.
Right.
Falcon is so trash, someone says. Oh, yeah, that's just, I don't know why he's the new Captain America. I really wanted it to be Bucky.
Oh, well, the reason why that it was because that, that's how it was like in the comics, Falcon became the new Captain America.
So does Bucky.
I never knew it was Bucky in the comics too, but maybe it was
Falcon
first.
I was looking at a comic book, so actually the order actually goes Steve Rogers, Bucky, then Falcon, but they switched it up.
Oh.
They switched it up because they didn't want people to automatically guess that it was going to be that.
Right, and they also probably didn't want it to be too predictable either.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. What did you think about the ending of this movie? I mean, with Samuel L. Jackson and all that aliens and all.
Yeah, what's funny is that when I saw it in theaters, I actually thought that the part with J.K. Simmons was like the after credits scene, and so after when that got done, I actually left the theater, and it wasn't until later when I actually realized there was actually another one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it on YouTube, but I haven't been able to find it. So what exactly happened?
Okay, so basically what happens is Nick Fury is in the car with that girl that's always with him. I forget her name. And so they're driving, and then he calls somebody, Nick Fury, and then it's another Nick Fury. And the Nick Fury that was in the car is an actual alien. And then Nick Fury gets up from he's like relaxing on a fake beach or whatever, like an illusion. Nick Fury gets up, and then Nick Fury, you see a bunch of aliens working around him, and he tells the aliens, get back to work. And then he's like, what happened to my shoes? And then that's how it ends.
Huh. That's so interesting.
Yeah, you have to watch the clip. It's really hard to explain. But when I made sure Eric, that I stayed throughout the whole movie because I heard there were 2 post-credit scenes.
Well,
But
yeah,
they don't have it on YouTube at all.
not from what I've been able to find, but
I'll try to see if I could find it later on and show it to you. I don't know.
But yeah, but I actually never even knew like that there were 2 post. I never knew that there were 2 of them. Yeah,
Yeah, there was like
later when then it wasn't until later like when I found out like there were 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved Nick Fury in this movie though. I thought he was funny, charismatic. I loved the fact that you don't ghost Nick Fury. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, definitely, and yeah, but Samuel L. Jackson's getting pretty old, so I don't know how many more movies he will do. I mean, he'll probably do as many as he can.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think is so cool about Samuel L. Jackson is the fact that he's like in like his 60s or 70s now. But I mean, when you look at him, you would think that he's a lot younger.
Yeah, it's like he hasn't aged at all.
Right, and it's kind of like the same thing like with Will Smith. And I mean, it's funny, it's because, you know, they're both the same race and they don't look like they've aged at all.
Well, they say African Americans don't age.
I can definitely believe that now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so a little bit off topic. So did you hear the news? Now, somewhat on the same topic, but did you hear like that who they cast? Did you hear who they cast as Ariel in the Little Mermaid?
Yeah, an African American, right? Woman?
Yeah, yeah, like her name is I believe it's Holly.
Oh my God, there's such an outrage over this. Yes.
How do you feel about it?
I mean, I don't care about Little Mermaid, so it's like
Yeah. I mean, do I get where they're coming from? Because, you know, they got used to the image of Ariel being white.
I think that Hollywood is doing this on purpose. And the reason I say that is whenever there's controversy, movie sales goes up. And this is the controversy for wrong reasons, but I'm pretty sure people are going to go watch it regardless. I'm not against it, but I don't understand why they went that route, to be honest. But I don't know. What do you think? What is your thoughts on this? It's hard to really. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to come off as like a racist. I just don't understand why they went this route.
I totally am not racist. I mean, the fact that I actually dated a girl once and like who was black, and I have Mexican friends, so I'm definitely not racist at all. But it's just, I just wasn't expecting them to do it. I mean, I just kind of thought that they would have tried to capture, you know, the look and feel of the original as much as possible. So they would have went with like a white actress with red hair, and it's weird because it's not going to feel the same, but I did see a clip of the girl singing, and she has a great singing voice, and her singing voice actually does have like that Disney feel to it, and so that definitely will help. But I mean, you know, that's like saying that we got so used to Batman, you know, being like a tall, muscular guy with short black hair, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're gonna change Bruce Wayne to being like a ginger with like red hair, and I mean, it's just weird.
I agree. I have a question. It's a good question from the chat here. I think Homecoming was a little better than Far From Home. So my question is, do you agree? For me, I think this movie was slightly better than Homecoming, but what do you think?
There are some things I liked better about each movie. I mean, it's all subjective. I think, you know, I like them both equally, although I do think I like Far From Home a little bit better, but there are some things I liked better in Homecoming, so...
Okay, so what do you like better about Homecoming? There's stuff I like about Homecoming a little more too, actually, but I preferred this movie slightly more.
Well,
what is something you prefer? Well, let me say what I prefer from Homecoming that I really liked. The Vulture, I think, was a better villain. I loved the way they showed how he was a normal guy, and this is why he became a villain. There was way more character development for him, and that's what I liked. And the Vulture, not Vulture, and we didn't get that with Mysterio as much. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I thought that Michael Keaton was very, very intimidating as
Hmm.
as the Vulture, and I liked that. And yeah, I also liked how they didn't just make him a one dimensional bad guy, and like, but they also didn't do that with like with Mysterio either. He wasn't just one dimensional, and you actually understand why that they're both the way that they are, and
Yeah.
why that they're doing what they're doing.
But what did you like about Homecoming more than this movie?
I
That,
liked how I liked how
mhm.
Homecoming had like that John Hughes feel to it, which is definitely perfect for like a which is definitely
You like
perfect for like a
Spider-Man
Peter
in the
Parker,
classroom.
which is perfect because like the fact that Peter Parker's in high school, and so so that was perfect. But I also understand that they didn't want to be too redundant on that, so maybe that's why they didn't do that again with Far From Home.
Hmm.
But yeah, I I kind of feel like some of the comedy was done a little bit better in like in Homecoming than in Far From Home. I mean, yeah, Far From Home definitely had its funny moments, but there also were some moments that just didn't. Some of the jokes just didn't land. But I do feel like that Far From Home had like a better pace.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
I also
but
like that, like you said, Far From Home. This is what I love about Far From Home a little more than Homecoming. This is where I like Spider-Man is not in his safe zone. I feel like if he's in New York, he's safer than he is if he's in another country, you know? Um, I did like the fact that they did go to Europe, and I did like the Elementals, and I did like Mysterio, and the fact that he thought that he was. I love the twist. They could have executed it better, but I did like the twist that Mysterio was supposed to be the good guy.
and I also like the twist, like with Michael Keaton in Homecoming, the fact like that he was the dad of the girl that he was
Yeah,
going
I
to
thought
date with.
that girl was gonna be like Mary Jane or somebody important, but she turned out to be nobody.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of what and that's one thing I kind of thought was kind of wasteful about Homecoming. The fact now, even though that I loved that twist, but it's like, okay, so whatever happened to that
Also,
one girl is.
one thing I don't like about this movie is where like the thing about the original Spider-Mans was that Mary Jane was like his neighbor and lived close to him and stuff like that. We don't see that in these Spider-Man movies. I mean, what do you think about that? Also, the fact why does he like Mary Jane so much in these movies? I don't even see what he sees about her so much.
Uh, uh, yeah,
I feel
that's
like it's
kind
a
of.
little bit forced.
Yeah, I can get that, and I mean, like with the Sam Raimi ones, you kind of bought more like
Oh,
that that they were.
that was the perfect. It made so much sense because Toby Maguire looked so dorky, and the other girl, Kristen Dunst, was so much hotter than him. So, and the fact that they were neighbors and you saw the development. They really, that's what I liked about the original Spider-Man. They really showed it, but then, you know what gets annoying is they show it too much.
Mhm.
That's, yeah. So, what are you saying, Eric?
But yeah, and that was something what I loved is like that actually made you buy the fact like those two fell for each other in this. I understand that they had to have a love interest, but I just like you said, I just don't really get like what made them fall for each other.
Honestly, somebody says they like Gwen Stacy. Gwen Stacy was great. I think that when Andrew Garfield and Gwen Stacy were together, when he was a Spider-Man and it was Gwen Stacy. What was her name again? Emma Stone.
Emma
I think it's Emma
Stone.
Stone. Yeah, she was really good as Gwen Stacy, and I really liked their love interest. That was something that was actually really good with the Amazing Spider-Man as well. They did a really good job, and I loved. See, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was horrible movie. I didn't like it at all, but I did like when they showed her die. I thought that was a very powerful scene, and we're not going to get that in the Spider-Man, and I understand it, but I don't know.
I actually heard a rumor like that, it uh like that it might be possible that we might get like a Spider-Verse live action movie. Like what I think would be cool is if they would have all the live action Spider-Mans in it, like Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and now Tom Holland.
Hmm.
I think that would be cool. if they did that. But what are your thoughts? Do you think that will ever happen, or do you think it's a good idea?
Say that again.
So you know how they did Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, where they had all those different versions of Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be kind of cool is if they did something like that, but in live action? But if they had all the live action Spider-Mans like Tobey
Oh, you're saying
Maguire,
like different
Andrew Garfield, and now Tom Holland?
besides Parker?
Say what?
No, I said Amazing Spider-Man 2 wasn't good, Nathan. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, and but the whole relationship between Andrew and
Yeah, I was just saying the Gwen
Emma,
Stacy.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
Emma
it's like
Stone. It was
that was
good.
like by far like
That was the best one,
the best
probably.
part. I mean,
Yeah.
that was like the best part of that movie, and what really helped was the fact like that Andrew and Emma Stone at, at that time they actually were a couple, and so and then that actually helped the chemistry feel more real.
Yeah. But how long do you think Spider-Man stays in high school for?
Probably not for too much longer. I thought I heard that the next one's gonna be his
Because
senior year,
he's gonna look older by the next one.
right? And so and then they can't keep him in high school forever, and so and then probably the third one's gonna be his senior year, and then and then after that, he'll be in college and probably work for like the Daily Bugle.
Yeah. He says Tom Holland is better than Andrew Garfield. I said that too, but I don't know. I think Andrew Garfield was really. I think they were all pretty good, to be honest with you. Andrew
I mean,
Garfield just got a really bad script and really bad luck. I
but
really
yeah,
don't
his
think he was
basketball
bad.
looking costume in Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally get that they wanted to separate it from the Raimi movies, but that costume in the first Amazing Spider-Man just looked weird to me.
Yeah. Yeah. What I also don't like about, I don't know if it's this, but yeah, this Spider-Man, he uses like, was it this Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man? He uses the web slingers,
You mean the web shooters?
the web shooters,
Yeah. He actually uses them both in this
both
and
of them, right? That's what I don't like. That's what I like about the Tobey Maguire one. There's no web shooters. It's just like in his wrist.
and it actually makes more sense by the fact like he would have gotten that ability naturally.
Yeah, you got bit by a spider.
And so therefore, like he should get the ability to shoot webs. But in the comics, though, eventually Peter Parker does Spider-Man does lose the web shooters, and he is able to shoot it out naturally. So
The lizard was cool in Amazing Spider-Man. What do you think about that, Eric? You think he was cool?
well, I kind of wanted the lizard to have like a snout in that movie. He just
I kind of felt one note to me.
yeah, I kind of thought that the lizard could have done better in that movie. I mean, I personally didn't like his look.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of wish they would have gave him like a longer snout, and he kind of looks like one of the Goombas off of like the Mario Brothers movie.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't like his look, and I just thought that the way how the character was written was pretty stupid, and especially when he was wanting to turn all the citizens into like people, that was stupid.
Yeah. But he was still better than Electro, I think. Rhino was perfect. I wanted to see Paul Giamatti as Rhino. We'll
And it
never
was
get.
so wasteful. They only had him in the beginning, and
I
at
know.
the very
At the end,
like that was so pointless.
at the end, they were teasing like, okay, this guy's going to be the next villain. You think
And,
Spider-Man will die? No. Why would he die?
and then Amazing Spider-Man 3. So they actually weren't going to make it, but it wasn't until when Sony and Marvel made that deal they then canceled it. So I heard that Gwen was going to come back as like a ghost.
He says Rhino sucked. Yeah, Rhino. But the thing is that Giamatti, I think, would have done a good job.
It's just he was just given really crappy material.
Giamatti is one of my favorite actors, man. I think he would have done a great job if given the proper chance.
But yeah, he just wasn't given good material to work with.
But do you think Spider-Man will die? I don't think so. I don't see any.
I seriously doubt that.
I seriously don't see any reason for him to die. And what I hope is that we get multiple Spider-Man movies and they don't reboot it ever again, and that somehow they could do a crossover with Venom. And speaking of Venom, what do you think about Carnage being the villain in the next Venom movie, and that Carnage is going to be played by Woody Harrelson?
I think that's interesting, but I just really hope that they're going to make the next Venom movie rated R.
Yeah. See, that's the problem with Spider-Man. You can't make Spider-Man rated R. You just can't. And if Venom is in that movie, it's just going to be PG-13, I think.
Well, here's the deal. If they're going to have Venom and a Spider-Man movie, fine, make it PG-13. But if it's just Venom, make it rated R.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, Venom is just a character like who screams for an R rating. And it's just like with how Deadpool and Logan were so
oh my God, I love Deadpool.
Yeah, so
Joker is rated R. I know, thank God Joker's rated R. Joker, oh my God, I'm looking forward to that movie so much.
Thank God that one's rated R. And that's probably going to be the closest that we will ever get like to a mainstream live action Batman movie being rated R.
What's up, diehard Giants fan and 21 Bricks? They were the ones. Joker, okay. Right now that Spider-Man is over because Spider-Man after the Avengers was the movie I was looking forward to. It's well, actually I'm also looking forward to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Joker. Have you heard about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah, they actually showed the trailer for that when I went to go see Spider-Man.
Oh my God. Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt in the same movie has never happened before.
And now it finally has. And
Quentin Tarantino is the director and the writer. It's gonna be so good, I think.
Yeah, I can't
wait. Already got 9. Sorry, what?
But yeah, I can't wait for that. And I even heard that there's gonna be a crossover with the Dingo Unchained and Zorro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I think that's gonna be in comic book form, but that sounds really interesting. How do you feel about that?
I think that's going to be interesting too. Yep. Looking forward to that. So somebody says, you think Joker will kill anyone? I think he will, but I think when Joker kills people, it'll be towards the end of the movie. In the beginning of the movie, we're just going to get development.
He is the Joker after all, so we know that people are going to get killed by him. But I have a theory like that they're gonna kind of sort of reboot the DC universe, like by using the Flash time paradox.
Mm-hmm.
And so then therefore, I think that this new Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, is going to be the new Joker in the DC universe. And then
that's definitely happening. But Robert Pattinson is Batman, so how can you look forward to this?
Sorry. I just don't see him as Batman.
I just can't. I want to say every actor I give a chance now because of the Heath Ledger thing, but his look, the look matters a lot with Bruce Wayne, and
he looks nothing like Bruce Wayne.
Nothing like Bruce Wayne. Looks nothing like Batman. Doesn't look. Another thing about Bruce Wayne is he's supposed to look physically strong, and Robert Pattinson doesn't even look strong.
I mean, he could beef up, but it's just I'm sorry. I just think he's so severely miscast, and I kind of wish that they would have went with an actor who wasn't known.
Yeah. So. Wait, I have a question here. Really,
I was either hoping for an unknown, or I was hoping for, or I was also hoping for.
Are they making a
Lone Ranger? Army Hammer.
Yeah.
Army Hammer, I think, would have made a great.
Army Hammer, yeah, from Social Network.
But yeah, I think he would have made a great Batman. But
there's so many guys I could have thought that were better than him.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. It's just Robert Pattinson as Batman. It's like, out of everybody, that's your best pick.
Are they making a Deadpool 3? I think they will.
They are.
I think that Deadpool is really successful, and they're going to make as many as they can. You like Jared Leto as a Joker. I want to see Joker get. I think that Joaquin Phoenix was the perfect choice.
He wasn't my first choice. I mean,
mine either. But once I saw the trailer and how he's acting, and I've always known one thing about Joaquin, he's a guy who he studies his work so hard. If you've seen any of his movies, he's an Oscar-winning actor. He takes his job seriously, and that's why I was very happy to see that he was chosen. Now, he wasn't my first choice, but I was very happy when I saw it was him and not like Robert Pattinson or something.
And on top of that, Joaquin Phoenix is very, very picky about what roles that he picks.
That's why I was surprised that he would do Joker. I really was surprised.
And it also helps by the fact like that Martin Scorsese is not directing it, but he's also a producer on it. And the fact that they got him to even be a producer. I
love that Todd Phillips is chosen as a director because he did The Hangover, and I did like the first Hangover movie.
And man, it's also good like that he's going to branch out and do other things besides comedy.
Mm-hmm. And the Joker can be funny while being crazy at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Joker was good in Suicide Squad. I don't think so. He barely was in the movie.
He barely was in it.
That's actually Jared Leto's biggest gripe. Now, I didn't think Jared Leto was bad. I just think they didn't give him enough screen time.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people were disappointed about it because of all the marketing had Jared Leto Joker in it, and he barely was even in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Spider-Man was horrible, says Tommy H. I didn't think it was horrible. Why do you say it's horrible? Wait, I got my rating as a 7 out of 10. What is your rating, Eric, for the Spider-Man Far From Home movie?
I probably would give it like probably either a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I even heard like that there's going to be like a young Bruce Wayne in the Joker movie. And
there is. It's confirmed. So the guy in the, if you remember, if you watch the Joker trailer and you're very careful with how you watch it,
mm-hmm.
There is a kid behind a gate, and he takes his face and he makes that Joker smile with it. That's Bruce Wayne.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So Bruce did, like you said, this could be like a prequel to the Batman movie that's coming out.
I think that would make sense. And like I said, I really think that this new Joker and Batman movie are going to be a part of the new DC universe. And I mean, they'll do a semi-reboot like that. They will keep Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. They will keep Aquaman, by the same people. But it's just that they'll just change. They'll just do like a alternate universe, like where they're the same, but yet Joker and Batman are now different now.
This one guy blew me out of the water right now. He said he gave Spider-Man 4 out of 10. I have to know why you gave. Can you please explain why you gave that rating? I mean,
it wasn't that bad of a movie.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. But you gotta respect everybody's opinion. So I just want to see why he gave it that. I mean,
right, it is their opinion. But even though I strongly
like me and you totally disagree on the Child's Play movie.
So it says in the trivia on IMDb that the Joker movie is meant to start a new company that will produce standalone DC movies. So maybe it's supposed to be its own thing. So maybe or maybe not, it will be part of the DCEU. We'll have to see.
Tommy H, the ending alone of Spider-Man was crazy. The fact that everybody knows he's Spider-Man. Oh, by the way, he says, you think Batman will be in the Joker? Yeah, I just explained. Not Batman.
Oh, yeah, so
Batman
Child's Play.
Bruce Wayne will be in the Joker. Yeah.
So Child's Play. So we both disagree about it, but
yeah, oh my God.
I mean, but you have to admit that the fact that it could have been a whole lot worse.
I agree with you on that, but that's not how I go by where I think my movies should be. The Child's Play, my God. I mean, the one thing I'll say is this, like I said in my review, Mark Hamill did a fantastic job. I don't want to hear anything bad about Mark Hamill. He did what he worked with was amazing, and his voice was perfect as Chucky. Mm-hmm. But the look of the doll was ridiculously bad. That throws me off, Eric.
Man, especially like his jawline, his
yo, I swear,
his jawline looked ugly.
Having hot moms. The mom was so hot. I think I remember exactly what movie she was from too. She was from like a comedy. I've seen her.
Yeah, she looked very, very familiar.
Yeah, I forgot what movie she was from, but she was from one of those. And there was also something. I mean, there was okay. So Chucky's evil because one guy decides, "Yo, I'm getting a hard time, so I'm gonna mess up everything and disable everything."
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny to think, that's why Chucky's evil now. While when compared to in the original, he's possessed by a doll.
I mean, I understand the guy treated him like crap, okay? But what person, if they're treated by crap, is gonna be like, you know what? There's kids that are gonna buy this doll. Let me just disable everything. And if you do something like that, and then okay, it got laughably bad when when Chucky was controlling every toy in the store. Like what? That was too much for me.
But you also do have to admit the fact that at least it wasn't like at least it was trying to be its own thing, and at least it wasn't like the Gus Van Sant remake of Psycho, where it's like the same movie.
Tommy H says you're not a fan of Tom Holland. That's a first. I want to hear why though. I understand people don't like Tom Holland. That's okay, but I gotta know the reason why you don't like him. For me, I'll be honest with you, Eric. I was not a fan of Tom Holland in the beginning because I thought he looked a little too young, and he proved me wrong. So I'm pretty happy with him.
I was caught off guard by Tom Holland at first. It was because the fact that I thought that they were going to bring in Andrew Garfield. Like,
oh, the Garfield days.
Like, I thought that Spider-Man series was going to cross over into the MCU, but obviously that never happened. And when they announced it would be yet another reboot, I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Another reboot?
Well, Freddy Krueger's getting a reboot. And Nathan Spratt, one of my subscribers, says he wants to see a new Freddy Krueger movie. Well, that is happening. They're actually working on it right now.
They're just taking their time with it. It's because of the fact that they're focusing on these Conjuring movies, but because of how the new Annabelle was received, I'm not sure if they'll be making it a whole lot more after that. I think that people are kind of done with the Conjuring movies.
Oh no, they're making a Conjuring 3 coming out next year.
Yeah, yeah, they are. It's not going to be directed by James Wan though, so that's going to be interesting.
Oh man, I loved Annabelle. Did you see Annabelle yet?
The new one?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I've been hearing that it was okay. I've been hearing people say it was kind of boring, so I haven't seen it yet. But I'll
agree with that. I gave it the rating I gave it was a 6, I think. Mm-hmm. I felt it was okay, but it was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be for a movie that continued. This is the 3rd movie about Annabelle that we got.
But yeah,
I want to see another Michael. Yeah, they're working already on Michael Myers. There's already
news but please, for the love of God, do not call it Halloween 2. That's not going to make.
I don't know what they're gonna call it. If I was them, I would call it like Michael Myers Revenge or something.
Even that would be better than calling it Halloween 2.
No, like Halloween, and then the subtitle Michael Myers something. I don't know. Just trying to think. The reason I said revenge is he's trying to get his revenge back on the family.
Yeah, like Halloween Reloaded, Halloween Retribution, Halloween whatever.
No, not Reloaded. That reminds me of The Matrix.
I know that, but at the same time, though, at least it's better than calling it Halloween 2 again.
Wait, you want to... we have a guy in here who only went to see Spider-Man for Mary Jane.
That's interesting.
Like the actress. He says Zendaya, which is Mary Jane's name, is the only reason why he went to see it. I'm surprised because I don't really find her that interesting.
I heard a rumor that she was going to play Ariel in the live-action Little Mermaid, but obviously that never happened.
Yeah, Rob Zombie Michael Myers was crazy. I have to talk about this. First, Michael Myers Halloween was not bad. Everybody shitted on it. It was not that bad by Rob Zombie. The second one was insanely dumb, though.
The white horse and all that. Yeah, that was stupid. And
he wasn't even wearing the mask half the time.
And it also pissed me off that they didn't even play the Halloween theme song until like the very, very end credits. It's like, come on.
Yeah. But I do like the first one. I thought It was. I mean, I definitely don't think it was better than the original or anything close like that. But I did enjoy it because I know a lot of people don't want a backstory on Michael Myers, but I'd like to see if there was a backstory, how would it work? And it was okay. It wasn't that bad. I kind of liked it. Like everybody's mean to him, and they don't do anything he says, and he's like ignored, and he gets beaten up by bullies. It makes sense why he would go crazy.
And the fact that there actually are serial killers in real life, like who actually, do become murderers because of that. And I mean, I do understand why people like that aspect of the remake, but it's just for me personally, I just like Michael Myers a lot more, like when he is mysterious and you don't know why he kills.
Yeah, but doesn't it kind of annoy you at times because you're like, why is he doing this? What is the reason? That never gets to you? Because that got to me a few times in the old Halloween movies.
It never did for me. It was because of the fact like that,
And originally, I was like, what's his obsession with Laurie Strode?
Well, I mean, in the original, Michael Myers only went after Laurie, only because of the fact like that she was there.
Yeah, but then in the second one, they're like, that's the sister, blah, blah, blah.
Well, they only made him the sister. It was because that John Carpenter was forced onto.
And honestly, I know you hate the sister, but I kind of liked it in the second one because it's like, okay, Michael Myers is still trying to kill her. Okay, this makes kind of a reason for that.
I understand that, but I kind of think that we've talked about that enough, and so and that's, and also of course in like that they want to have Jamie Lee back, and so
Rob Zombie's Halloween was solid. Our Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 was decent aside from no, I didn't think it was decent at all. No obvious part. Nobody prefers it from but I can't even watch Rob Zombie Halloween 2. It just pisses me off on every level.
Yeah, and
especially when I see Michael Myers without a mask and standing like a homeless person. That really bothers me.
Yeah, and the fact that when he talked in like the
oh my god, what was that? No. And the white horse and the mother, they were trying to make it like Jason, and I'm like, this is stupid.
Right, and the fact that they made Loomis into an asshole.
The original was the best. Well, actually, for me, I actually like Halloween 2 the most. The original Halloween 2.
Which is going to be confusing when they call it the next one Halloween 2. It's like we have 3 movies called Halloween 2, which the last one technically was Halloween 2. Somebody has a serious titling problem.
Piss on the critics who slammed Halloween 2. There were critics that slammed Halloween 2 in 1981.
There were, but I mean, but over time, it's become well more received. Like, one of the problems that critics had with Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2, was the fact that they thought it relied more on gore rather than how the first one relied more on suspense.
I have a question for you. And I know you're going to flip out, and I'm going to flip out. But one of my subscribers asks, what about Halloween movie with Paul Rudd?
The Curse of
One of the worst Halloween movies ever made, in my opinion.
So how they stop Michael Myers in either version is either he gets stopped by a bunch of stones on the ground, which, I mean, that's ridiculous, or either that or he gets beat by a pole. And the fact that he bleeds green. So what, is he an alien now?
Yeah. I think it was the worst Halloween movie out of that series. I think it's even worse than Halloween Resurrection. As bad as Halloween Resurrection was, there were parts of it that I did enjoy. I just thought that guy was really funny. What's his name? The one
Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes. I know he was ridiculous, but I found him funny. And I know it's not supposed to be funny, but it was just... And I like the live streaming technology that we're all using now.
Now, I'll give credit where credit's due. At least Resurrection was so bad it was funny.
And it took chances. It took chances.
But with Curse, it was just so bad. It was just bad.
What I liked that in between Resurrection and we got Age 20, which I thought was a decent movie.
It had its problems, but
I mean, Laurie Strode makes a comeback. I did like that. I love some season. Michael
Man,
Myers are pretty cool.
I also love Laurie's character arc in H2O about how she went from being paranoid and scared. Man, then at the very end, you know, she was a badass and she was fighting back against Michael Myers.
That was Paul Rudd's first film. I know, but I love Paul Rudd, but he should stick to comedy. Myers versus Annabelle.
Annabelle versus who?
Michael Myers. I don't know how that would work, because Annabelle is like a beacon for demons and stuff.
Well, Michael Myers, you could argue like maybe he was possessed by demons in the original Halloween, but I mean, because he's so mysterious, you don't really know.
Actually, yeah, Dr. Loomis says that, you know,
he has the blackest eyes.
He has the blackest eyes, saying that a demon, it's kind of like inferred that a demon may have taken over him, but we don't know for sure.
Man, that's one of the things I thought made Michael Myers so interesting in the original Halloween, is because that you don't know. I mean, there's only so many scenarios as to what happened, but I mean, that kind of makes it more fun, is the fact that, you know, you don't know.
Nathan Spratt, me and Eric have gone to lengths about how much Freddy versus Jason, but I enjoy it. It's a guilty pleasure for me. I can't say anything.
I mean, do I understand its problems? Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, you know.
I mean, you have two of my favorite slashers going at it. I like it.
Man, also, and at least that they fight more than once. And I mean, at least it's not like a Batman v Superman where they only fight like once throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And also,
no, but I did love like how Freddy Krueger thought of everything. Like, I'll bring back Jason. He'll kill the people. They'll get scared again. They'll blame me. That's pretty cool.
Then it will make him remember.
Yeah, make him come back. But then Jason was killing too many people.
And then it backfired on him.
Yeah. I thought that was... No, the concept is pretty interesting. It shouldn't really have been called Freddy versus Jason because they barely fought, like you said. But when they did fight, it was awesome.
But at least they fought more than once throughout the...
I liked when Jason was dreaming. I thought that fight scene was so cool when he was dreaming and they were fighting, and Freddy was just kicking Jason's ass.
Yeah, like what I like, the fact that we saw them fight in the dream world, and the fact that we saw them fight in the
real world
too.
Yeah, but see, in the real world, what pisses me off, it's just that I'm a huge Freddy Krueger fan. So, you know, Freddy is not the same in the real world as he is in the dream world.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that Jason was going to kick his ass. And also, one thing I didn't like about Freddy versus Jason is that they said that they should go after Freddy first and then they should go after Jason, but I don't see how that is smart. Jason is killing everybody right now. Why would you go after Freddy first?
Right. It's like, shouldn't you stop Jason first?
I thought they should stop Jason first, honestly. What did you think,
because Eric? The fact that they figured out that Freddy was behind it, and so if they were to stop the one behind it, you know, it would stop it all.
Yeah, but once you wake up Jason, he just doesn't go back, you know? Like, he already woke him up, so at that point, you got to deal with him.
Right. But yeah, do you think that Kane Hodder should have reprised his role in that?
What?
Do you think that Kane Hodder should have played Jason?
Yeah, he should have. I had no problem with the guy that played Jason, though. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with him, but it's just that, you know, but as fan service wise, it definitely would have been cool to see Kane Hodder versus Robert.
Look, I was just happy to see Robert Englund as Freddy in the theater because I never got to see it. Because, you know, all the Freddy Krueger movies came out before I was born, most of them pretty much.
Yeah, and unfortunately for me, you know, I was too young when New Nightmare and when Freddy vs. Jason came out. So unfortunately,
Oh, you didn't see Freddy vs. Jason in the theater?
Nope.
I did. And I'm going to tell you, I shouldn't have been allowed to see it because technically it was rated R and I was not the age that was allowed to see it. But back then, they didn't really care that much. And I was able to see it, and I thought I was like blown away of how much I loved it even more. I mean, now watching it, I could see the flaws even more. But, you know, when you're a kid and you watch a movie, it's different.
Right. And the only Freddy movie I've seen is the remake. The only one that I have seen at the movie theater is the remake.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks. But least that I've seen a Freddy movie in theaters. But I do kind of wish I would have seen a Robert Englund Freddy movie in theaters. But
James Wan is not doing Conjuring 3.
I think he's just producing it.
Yeah,
he's not gonna
but he's not
direct
directing it. It's directed by the guy who just did Annabelle, Michael Shapes or something like that. His name.
Well, if it's directed by him, then I kind of have a feeling that the third one's not going to be.
I mean, sorry, not Annabelle. The Curse of La Llorona, that one.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Which Eric hasn't seen, and don't see it because it's not that great of a movie.
Well, if it's not that great of a movie, and if he's doing Conjuring 3, then
the reason he's doing Conjuring is not spoiler, but you'll see in Annabelle, the Curse of La Llorona actually shows up in that movie.
Oh,
the Conjuring is a whole universe. It's like a whole thing going on now. It's not just, they're not separate movies. They're all related now to one another.
Yeah, but
Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man. Totally agree. I said the same thing, but I don't think it's by that much of a margin.
So I don't think I remember who you said who they should cast as the new Freddy if they can't have Robert Englund back. I think we both agree that Hugo Weaving.
Yes, we said I was behind Hugo Weaving from the start. But I felt like he's the most iconic. He's one of the most iconic guys, and I would love to see him. And he could definitely look creepy in that makeup.
But he said that he's not into like the bigger kind of movies anymore, which is why that he was replaced in
but come on, you were Mr. Smith in The Matrix. You were Elrond in Lord of the Rings. Like, that's the type of stuff you do, man.
Yeah, so if not him, I do know that Kevin Bacon said he wanted to play Freddy.
I actually would not be against Kevin Bacon doing it.
I wouldn't be either, but
but I would like to see him with the makeup and stuff before they say
right. I kind of feel like that Kevin Bacon's Freddy would kind of look like the remake one.
Yeah.
I mean, just by like the way how like his face looks. But yeah, if not him, they could cast that guy who does all the fan Freddy movies. I forget his name.
That does what?
There's like these Freddy fan movies done by a channel called Blinky 500 or something like that. Mm-hmm. They actually cast somebody who actually looks a lot like Robert Englund. They could cast him.
I have another suggestion. Now, I don't know. You may laugh at it. What about Woody Harrelson?
Woody Harrelson as Freddy?
Yeah.
I never would have thought of that.
I was just thinking about it because I think he could play so many different roles. He's very versatile. I like
Woody Harrelson as Freddy Krueger? Huh.
Yeah, with the makeup done correctly, I think he would be an okay choice.
Huh. That really got me thinking. Huh.
Yeah, but just because somebody's on production doesn't mean that, sometimes production could mean that they're just funding the film.
Right, and
doesn't always mean that they're involved. Yeah. How do you feel that James Cameron is back to producing the Terminator franchise?
But he's probably not involved too much. I mean, from my understanding, he has consulted with the story, mm-hmm. and they also probably just want his name on it.
So, Eric, do you like the idea of Woody Harrelson as a prospect to play him?
I can't say I like it or dislike it. It's really interesting.
I just thought of it right now. I just thought of a guy who would possibly do it.
I do remember somebody once said that they thought that Eugene Levy, from American Pie,
oh hell no, hell no.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes. Jim's dad from American Pie.
Yeah, that guy is Freddy.
No, he's just gonna make me laugh. I don't want him as Freddy.
Yeah, no, that's just really, really bad casting. But somebody said once like that, like that they think like that Jim Carrey would have made a good Freddy.
I don't know if I could see him as Freddy Krueger.
I mean, I think that he can pull off, like the evil smile.
Yeah.
And
that's another guy I would just laugh if he's Freddy Krueger.
But yeah, but that's the problem. Is like the Jim Carrey's so iconic for being funny.
Yeah.
That that if we saw him playing Freddy, he just can't help.
Oh, we also didn't get to talk about how Sonic got pushed back. What are your thoughts about Sonic getting pushed back to next year?
God. Oh, thank God, because that design was hideous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what were they thinking with that design? It's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is someone trying to call you?
Yeah, it's okay.
But yeah, I mean, that Sonic design, it was so ugly. It's like, like if kids saw that in the theater, they just would have been screaming out the theater once they saw that. It's like Sonic's eyes were too small, they were too separated, and it was creepy how he had like the human teeth and.
Tommy H, we already talked about the Little Mermaid.
Somebody must really want to talk to you.
Yeah. I don't know who it is. It's one of those numbers.
Oh, so it's probably one of those toll-free calls.
Yeah, I hate that stuff.
I hate that so much. It's so irritating. But yeah, and I honestly think it was best on their part to change the design and delay that movie. Now, do I understand that it was their vision? Yes. By the same time, though, they also have to understand that they have to make their money.
Oh, who's this?
And, and people were actually saying that if they would have had that design in that movie, they wouldn't have gone to see it in theaters. And if people aren't going to see it in theaters, then they're not going to be making any money.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me see. Hello? Hello? Yeah, it's one of those stupid calls.
Those are annoying.
Yes.
I actually tried to block those calls, but it didn't work out. But yeah, but how do you feel about the Sonic movie being delayed?
I thought it is exactly what we needed for it to happen. Just because Sonic getting delayed. Oh my God! Stop calling me.
But yeah, as you were saying.
Yeah, I said that was we needed that. Sonic
yeah,
to get delayed. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, God, that's so annoying.
I turned it off, so I don't think that's gonna happen anymore.
Okay, thank God. But yeah, it's like that almost never happens when a movie is being made, and like they get so much backlash about how a character looks, like that they're actually going to change it. Like that never happens.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, filmmakers just would have gone like, "Oh well, you have to just deal with it."
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so this is a very, very rare instance. I mean, something kind of like that happened with the Lion King when they were going to cut out the song Be Prepared, but because of all the backlash, they put the song back in. But I mean, we're talking about a whole character design. I mean, that never happens. I think that this is the first time like where it's ever happened about where they changed a character's look because it just got that much backlash.
No, and I didn't think that they would actually take that seriously, that they would actually do it because of that.
Which I actually am very, very happy like that they did it, because if they would have kept that design, I mean, that would have done so much damage like to the Sonic franchise.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, people were making memes left and right of that design, which I mean was rightfully so.
Totally agree with that.
But yeah, and people were joking, oh my god, like imagine what they would have done with Tails.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was so happy that they decided to listen to the fans and work on the design.
You're right. Make it look more like Sonic, like from the video games.
Exactly.
Now, I don't mind if they give him fur, but it's just, just do what Detective Pikachu did. Just take his look from the games, just give him fur.
Is there another Friday the 13th coming out? I don't think so. I haven't heard it.
They've been trying to make one for the longest time, but just from my understanding, the problem is lawsuits and all this legal crap. Like it's over like it's over who actually owns the rights to
That's
all this
actually why
stuff.
we've not gotten a Hulk movie either, because of Universal. Universal has not released the rights to Marvel, so we can't get a Hulk movie.
I heard that it was because that both how like both Hulk movies haven't done that well at the box office. So I thought
Well,
that
according to the guy that plays the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, Ruffalo said it was Universal, and Universal did not has the rights to the Hulk movies, and they're not releasing it to Marvel, which is actually owned by Disney, obviously. But so they can't make it because Universal's not allowing them, and they have the rights.
that sucks, and especially the fact that all of us fans like would love to see a Mark Ruffalo solo Hulk movie.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that sucks. I mean, it sounds like the Universal is being too stubborn, and so then it's not like they can negotiate a deal like what they did with Sony.
Exactly.
But yeah, I would have loved to have seen a Planet Hulk movie, but I guess that's not going to happen for a while.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not gonna
But
happen.
how do you feel about the Fantastic Four and the X-Men joining the Marvel universe now?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
How do you feel about the Fantastic Four and the X-Men now joining the Marvel
That's
universe?
great. I mean, the only thing is, I hope it's not that they're juggling too much there.
Right, and I think that's one reason why Dark Phoenix has been doing so well is because the fact that people are so excited to see that, like that, they just don't care about the Fox universe anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I also heard that Dark Phoenix wasn't even really that good of a movie anyway.
Yeah, I heard Dark Phoenix was. I didn't see it, but I heard it was horrible.
I saw that at the worst review. I saw that it's the worst reviewed X-Men movie out of all of them.
It's the worst one.
It has been the worst reviewed one according to Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah.
Now, of course, there's a lot of debate about that website, but
Yeah, I like Rotten Tomatoes though. But I think that some of that stuff on Rotten Tomatoes, when I watch it, I'm like, they really overrated this movie, or they really underrated this movie.
yeah, I mean, that was kind of how I felt like with Get Out. I mean, I'm not saying it was bad, but maybe I just need to rewatch it. I just personally didn't get it, but maybe I have to rewatch it.
I thought Get Out was a pretty good film.
I thought it was kind of underwhelming, but maybe I just have to rewatch it again.
Yeah, maybe. Sometimes you have
But
to watch a movie more than once to get it.
yeah, I kind of felt that way with Inception. I only saw it once in theaters, and all my friends were telling me that I would have to watch it more than once to get it. But I haven't watched it ever since then. So
Did you like Inception?
I liked it, but I was kind of confused when I saw it.
Yeah, okay, so Inception is a really good movie, but you have to watch it a lot to piece everything together.
Right. So that's probably why that I didn't get it when I.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, man.
But
There's
yeah,
some movies that you have to watch multiple times to get everything or understand it.
I'm sure that there are other movies out there that are like that with me, but I just can't name them off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think Get Out, if you watch it again, you would enjoy it more.
Yeah, probably. And it also is cool. I like that Get Out was actually nominated for Best Picture, and I mean, that's very rare, like for a movie like that to have happen.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Now, there's a lot of debate whether or not if Get Out is a horror movie. I mean, personally, I think it is, but the only other ones that haven't nominated is Silence of the Lambs and The Exorcist.
The Exorcist actually won, which is great.
Right,
Horror
and
movies never win the Oscars.
right, they never do.
And it's so unfair.
Wolfman won like for best makeup.
Yeah,
The 2010 remake, but I mean that was just for makeup though.
exactly.
And The Omen was nominated for a few Oscars, and now it wasn't for best picture, but I think for like best sound.
Yep.
And
all these movies trying to push agendas. What do you mean, Tommy H? What agendas are they pushing?
right, like what agendas are you talking about?
Yeah. But
so if they make a new Friday the 13th, what route do you think that they should go?
if they make Friday the 13th, I want the mom to be in there, but I want her to be used as little as possible. I kind of like how they did it with the reboot. I actually wish they could just like continue from the reboot and just
They were going to, but that just never happened.
And just make a sequel to the reboot instead of like starting fresh again, because I already know the story. Everybody knows. You get tired of the origin story.
Right, and I do think with it being the 13th movie in the franchise like that, it really should be something special.
I didn't okay, the remake I thought was actually decent. I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was amazing.
It had a few problems with it.
Yeah,
but overall it was.
Overall, it's a decent film. I want to know, what problems did you think that it had though?
Well, I kind of thought that the asshole character, like when he screamed, it actually was pretty comical. Like when he screamed.
Okay, I get.
And I also kind of think that they kind of showed Jason. I kind of thought that I kind of feel, I know it's Friday the 13th, but I kind of felt like that, some of the scenes with him could have been more suspenseful, and especially like that they're trying to take it more seriously in that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I also did like the fact like that they explained with like the tunnels, and like the whole thing about the tunnels really helped to explain, how Jason was able to get to
places so quickly.
Right.
But I thought you wouldn't like too much explanation.
Well, and I mean, well, it's just like with Michael Myers, it works like with no explanation. But it's just, for a character like Jason, I mean, Jason is very different from Michael Myers, and so then therefore I am okay with like the whole tunnel thing. It's because with Michael Myers, I mean, like that is just his character. I mean, Michael Myers is mysterious and he's the shape, but I mean, Jason and Michael are two different things. So it's like sometimes
Tommy H says I don't watch any new movies.
Now sometimes sometimes I prefer more mystery, but sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends. Excuse me.
I see what you're saying. Tommy H says he doesn't watch any new movies, but didn't you just say you saw the new Spider-Man movie?
maybe he made an exception.
I guess. I don't like watching a lot of the new movies too. I kind of agree, because a lot of it is either a remake or a sequel, or there's not new original ideas.
Yeah, and for me, the final straw with remakes was The Lion King, which that one comes out soon.
Oh yeah, Eric, are you watching The Lion King?
All my friends want to take me to go see it, and I'm like, fine, I will give it a chance. But man, that's a movie that never ever needed a remake.
That's how I felt about Aladdin, and I actually skipped Aladdin. I haven't seen it.
Well, overall, Aladdin was better than Beauty and the Beast, the live action remake. I mean, there are some things I liked about it and some things I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, for Aladdin for me was kind of like a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like now what's next? Are they gonna remake Jaws? So what's a movie that you hope that they never ever remake?
There's so many movies that I could go through, but then when I think about it, they're like a lot of the movies they already remade. Well, Scarface would be one. I don't want Scarface to be remade ever again.
But yeah, but that one, from my understanding, is gonna be remade again with like Leonardo DiCaprio or something like that.
I mean, if he's doing it, it's fine because I like Leonardo DiCaprio, but just don't want to see. I want to see original stuff. Another movie is Jurassic Park. I would never want to see that remade ever. I don't care. Now, I don't consider Jurassic World a remake. That's like something else. But Jurassic Park, I don't want to see a remake.
I mean, Jurassic World had a few similarities to Jurassic Park,
but
I mean,
it's supposed to be continuation of the story, I think.
Right. And it is. So yeah, so Jurassic Park definitely never needs a remake, and
It's one. If you told me what's one of my favorite, especially like when it comes to childhood movies, Jurassic Park is there, man. Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
I never want to see a remake of Jaws in my life. Jaws is just perfect the way it is.
Although that I remember about 9 years ago, I actually heard a rumor, and and I haven't heard anything about it since afterwards, so it probably wasn't even true. But I heard a rumor like that there was going to be a Jaws remake, and like with like a Tracy Morgan in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Tracy Morgan in a Jaws remake, it's like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, thank God that. But thank God that never happened. And I also never want to see a remake of the original Indiana Jones. I never want to see a remake of Star Wars Episode 4.
Believe it or not, I believe that they would probably do something stupid like that.
They probably would, and especially nowadays where they'll, like, just to me, if they'll do a remake of Lion King, then I don't think anything is safe anymore.
Yeah, once I heard Lion King was getting a remake, and the only difference is that it's live action now, I was just like...
Well, they say it's live action, but it's all done in CGI.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
That
it's supposed to be action. Like... It's not cartoon anymore like it was back in the day. And really, like, that's the only difference. Like, storyline, everything's going to be the same.
And
we don't need it. We do not need it. No one is asking for this movie.
And the fact they have some new actors playing the parts, but that's also my problem is like the fact that the original had like the perfect voice cast.
Yeah. It's just Hollywood has no ideas, and people just want to recycle the same stuff that was successful back then. They know they can make a quick buck off of it too because they already have a fan base, you know? So.
And then, and now they're doing Little Mermaid. They're going to do Snow White, Pinocchio. It's like...
They're doing all of them.
And yeah, they pretty much are.
My stance against Aladdin was I'm not going to see it because of that. I don't want to support it.
And I don't blame you at all.
And for Lion King, I don't know. I may see it. I'm kind of curious, just curious. It's the only reason why I want to see it. But I really, I don't know.
I actually kind of feel like it's kind of my fault for the Lion King remake, and especially because of the fact that I saw the Jungle Book remake like 5 times in the theater.
It's all your fault, Eric. You watch it 5 times. No. The Jungle Book remake wasn't that good to watch 5 times, Eric.
Yeah, it's actually quite the story, with me seeing it 5 times. It's like all my family and friends wanted to take me to see it, and then I would see it.
Were they paying for it or something? Like, yo,
yeah,
come with us. We'll pay for it. You don't have to do nothing. Social justice warriors controls the industry, says Tommy.
But
what do you think about that, Eric? Social justice warriors controls the industry, the movie industry.
I can definitely believe that.
Yeah, you believe that?
I just noticed this. I think that my dog like got paint on his tail.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. But yeah, just
I mean, it goes something to say somebody names their dog Simba, and then first of all,
right, and that's why that I'm so nervous about the remake is the fact that Lion King has been such a huge part of my life ever since when I was a kid, and I loved that movie so much. I named my dog Simba, which is actually pretty funny that I named my dog after a cat.
That's what I was gonna say next, yeah.
But but yeah, when you first saw Lion King, did you see it like in theaters back in '94, or did you see it on VHS?
No, I saw it on VHS. Because I was only 6 years old?
5. Yeah, when Lion King came out, I was like 2 years old, so I was really, really young.
I was 5. Yeah, I was 5, I think, when Lion King came out. Either I was 4 or 5. And
actually,
I saw it on VHS when it came out on VHS.
And I actually did research, and I found out that the most successful VHS of all time is actually the original, The Lion King.
And that makes sense. I mean, it was the most iconic film for that time period.
Right. Man, it's also even iconic now.
Yeah, and the fact that it's even on Broadway and all that is pretty cool. That's why I don't think we need this movie, because we already have Broadway plays about it, and we have the original, and it's fine. Like, we just need a new concept.
If it ain't broke, then don't fix it. It's also, and people have argued, oh well, the Broadway version is a remake of it. Well, it kind of is, but at the same time, that's also different. Like to adapt a movie into a Broadway show. I mean, that is different.
Yeah, when it's a show, it's different than if you're watching it on a big screen.
Yeah, it really is, and and the fact the original is just so perfect the way it is, and it's just like I mean, said,
Broadway is a huge thing, and something is so good that they're willing to adapt it into a Broadway play. Something that is so iconic, they're like, okay, Lion King was such a great movie. Let's make this into a Broadway play. That is big praise for Lion King.
Which is funny, it was because that when it was first announced that they're going to turn into Broadway, everybody thought it was going to fail. I mean, even Elton John thought that Lion King on Broadway would fail, is because he thought that they were just going to put them in those football game mascot costumes.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny, it's because that when Lion King was being made, the movie, everyone thought that was going to fail. And then Disney actually put the B team on Lion King, and they had the A team on Pocahontas. And
wait, what's that say behind you? Dinosaurs? What?
Remember that sign in Jurassic Park when dinosaurs roam?
That's what it looks like. Is that what it is?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Now, even though that my sign isn't as big as the one in the movie, but here it is when dinosaurs ruled the earth. Remember at the very end, where the T-Rex roared and then that,
of course,
fell down. Yeah,
I remember.
What's crazy about Jurassic Park
is
that film came out almost 26 years ago. And the fact that Jurassic Park even still has CGI that looks great.
Yeah.
I mean, Jurassic Park has better CGI than some movies that are out now.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that really says a lot.
Yep.
But yeah, so any other movie stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah, what was the movies that you said you didn't want to be remade?
Yeah, I don't want Jaws to be remade. I never wanted Poltergeist to be remade, but yet they remade that, and they're also going to remake it yet again.
Remake what?
I heard a rumor that the Russo brothers are going to do another remake of Poltergeist.
Oh God, another
remake. I mean, it is the Russo brothers,
Oh my
It's like,
god,
come
the
on.
remake of Poltergeist was one of the worst films.
Oh, it was terrible.
Someone asked me what's your favorite horror movie. That is Nightmare on Elm Street, no question, very easy. And I know Eric's is Halloween.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the original Halloween. But I also like the original Psycho. That was up there too.
You wouldn't have Halloween, I think, without Psycho.
Oh yeah, definitely not. And it's also fitting because Psycho has Janet Leigh and Psycho has Psycho had Janet Leigh, and then Halloween had Jamie Lee.
Yeah, I know.
Which is perfect. But yeah, and but the worst horror movie of all time, man, there's so many bad ones.
A lot of double standards. What do you mean, Tommy H?
Yeah, what do they mean by double standards?
I don't know what he means. Anyway, so you were saying Jaws. Keep going. Name maybe 5 movies or 4 movies. Huh?
The original Indiana Jones movie,
Okay.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jurassic Park, like what you said, and yeah, I said Jaws, Raiders.
E.T. also. I wouldn't want.
Yeah. Oh yeah, E.T. is another one, and
No Shawshank Redemption. There's a lot of movies that I would have that are very iconic that I wouldn't want them to be remade.
Another one I never want to be remade is the 1986 movie.
1986 movie what?
Remember the movie with River Phoenix and Corey Feldman called Stand By Me?
Stand By Me. Yeah, I know that movie.
Yeah.
With Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, that's one that I hope never gets.
And I love that Kiefer Sutherland is the bad guy in that movie.
Right,
and bully.
Right, and I mean it's rare for him to ever play the bad guy. So.
Yeah, I mean he's 24. And he's the son of Donald Sutherland.
Right. But yeah.
That's like a big family when it comes to acting.
Right. It's like a big family of movie stars.
Duh. I love Kiefer Sutherland. Now, that Stand By Me is a great movie too, yeah. Stephen King, right?
Yes, it is. I haven't seen it.
What do you think about Stephen King and like how his movies are all over the place? I mean, like his books, and obviously the books get turned into movies, but like it is so different than The Green Mile or Stand By Me or anything like that.
Right, it is. But it also shows, the kind of range that he has. Like he can go to drama, he can go to
horror. I have a question
He's more famous for horror.
Eric, did you see the new It trailer?
I did.
Too? Huh?
Are you talking about the one in like where Beverly goes back to her old home?
It Chapter 2. They made a trailer for the movie that's coming out.
Right, yeah. Are you talking about the trailer like where Beverly goes back?
Yeah, Beverly goes back and the grandma's there.
Yeah.
Like that, like some old woman. Oh my god, that was so cool! I can't wait to see that movie. They did. This is where a remake is necessary. They took something. The original It was not that great in my opinion. They took. They took
that one definitely begged for a remake.
Wait, Philip Lindsay asked Amir, "Do you like The Exorcist?" The Exorcist is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Of all time, The Exorcist.
When I first saw. Was underwhelmed. It was because that people would always hype it as one of the scariest movies of all time. And then when I saw it for the first time when I was a freshman, I actually thought it wasn't that scary. But then it wasn't until when I rewatched it, I was like, now I think I can understand why that people, hype it up as the way that they do.
Yeah.
Simba.
What are the double standards, Tommy H? I really want to know. You never told me.
That's what I'm confused about. I don't know what.
I don't know what the
like what double standards is he?
The Exorcist is so iconic. It's one of. It's also. It was a cursed movie too. A lot of people. A lot of bad things happened to people on set with that movie.
Did you ever see
How about Amityville Horror? What is your thoughts on that?
I've only seen parts of the original, and I've seen the remakes, so I haven't really seen a whole lot of them.
Well, you gotta watch the original, Eric. It's so good.
I do know like that. One of the people who were involved with the real life incident got kind of mad about the movie versions.
Yeah, the Amityville horror set was cursed.
Oh, I can believe that, and so was, and I even think even so
Poltergeist
was
also.
Poltergeist. Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
actually surprised that not anything bad has happened to the cast and crew of the remake yet.
The remake of the Poltergeist was one of the worst movies I've ever saw.
That was a movie that never ever needed to happen, and man, even worse was that the Poltergeist remake wasn't even scary at all.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
But yeah, it's like, that's why you don't remake movies by Spielberg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely. Spielberg, leave his movie. All Spielberg's movies, pretty much from the past, the iconic ones, leave them alone.
But yeah, but how do you feel about the Russo brothers making another remake of it?
Remake of what?
The Russo brothers are gonna make a second remake of Poltergeist.
Yeah, like I said, they should just leave it alone. I mean, I like the Russo brothers. I think they're very good at what they do.
I
But
kind of think that they're. I
Hmm?
kind of think that they're. I kind of think that they're wasting their time.
Yeah, just stick to Avengers, man.
But yeah, and trying to think of what other movie doesn't need a remake.
Yeah, they should just stick to Avengers. I wonder
Yeah,
what the new Avengers is going to be called anyway.
yeah, but we know for sure that's not going to have the original cast. But it's just just time to move on, I guess. But
Oh, but they're not directing the Poltergeist. They're only producing it.
oh,
I'm
oh,
looking.
I thought that they were directing it.
No, apparently they don't have a director for it yet.
But yeah, it's like really another remake of that, and
It says it right here, the second remake to the 1982 classic Poltergeist.
so soon after that last piece of crap.
Yeah, I don't know why.
And they're also going to reboot Texas Chainsaw Massacre yet again. It's like you have tried to reboot that so many times.
Yeah, I actually think is this the fourth reboot of that, or what number reboot are we up to?
Oh man, for Texas Chainsaw, they tried rebooting with Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3,
3D, yeah.
and then again with the Next Generation, then again with the Michael Bay movie, then again with the 2013 movie. It's like they've rebooted like 4 times.
Remember the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning?
Oh yeah, that one. That
Yeah,
actually was one of the very first R-rated horror movies I ever saw in the
theater.
movie theater.
There's going to be a Leprechaun 2? Really? I didn't know
So there's going to be a sequel to Leprechaun Returns.
that.
I heard a lot of people thought it sucked, but I'm like, well, what do you expect? Those movies were never even good in the first place.
Yeah.
But man, the worst one out of all of them was definitely
What?
Leprechaun Origins. That one was terrible.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
But I mean, at least with the Warwick Davis ones, at least those ones were so bad. I like that you had fun with them. But I mean, with Origins, it was just so bad. It was just bad. It took it took itself way too seriously.
Right. I wonder what they're gonna call the next Spider-Man movie though, because we just had it's all the Spider-Man have home in it. Have you realized? Homecoming,
Right, and actually,
Far From Home.
right,
Is the next one gonna be something with home also?
right.
Philip Lindsay
Yeah,
says, "Cute dog, Eric."
thank you. I see everyone thinks that you're cute. I mean, you're spoiled rotten. Simba, good boy.
It's not a dog; it's a cat.
Well, isn't that perfect? Oh, Simba, huh? Named after a pushy
I mean, his
cat.
name is Simba. Couldn't be a dog, right? What kind of dog is it? He asks.
Beagle.
There you go.
I actually thought that it would be funny for Halloween if I got him a lion mane costume.
Oh my god.
Now, Simba, you have to remember it's always good to be yourself.
What did you think of Blade Runner 2040, whatever?
I actually never saw that
What?
one, even though I heard a lot of really good reviews on it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see Blade Runner 2049.
But yeah,
that was great because they did a sequel to the old one.
Man, it wasn't a remake of it.
No.
In this day and age of remakes,
I'm okay if they do sequels to old movies. I'm okay with that, but because like they're doing a Top Gun. I think it's kind of late for Top Gun, but they're doing a Top Gun remake. Did you hear about that? Not remake, sorry, a sequel.
Yeah, it's not a remake; it's a sequel, and I mean, better late than never. But yeah, I mean, talk about a sequel that's very late.
30-something years.
But if you thought Top Gun was late, the sequel to Mary Poppins is like the longest gap, like in between.
I never really cared about Mary Poppins, but yeah.
I didn't either, but I mean, but there are parts of it like what I can appreciate, and yeah, but yeah, I heard that the director of the first Top Gun committed suicide, and then this one, like, they're gonna pay tribute to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did it a few years ago.
Philip Lindsay says he wants to see the new Godzilla movie. Eric, what did you think of the new Godzilla? We never even talked about that.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised we never mentioned that, but yeah, I liked it. It was definitely better than the 2014 movie. You know, thank God they learned the lesson to not.
There was actually Godzilla in the film.
I mean, some of the human characters, you know, some of them were kind of stupid in the new movie.
Oh my god, they were ridiculously dumb.
But you know, but at least it totally made up for it, like with all the monster action. But you have seen it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and I also love the fact that we finally got the Godzilla theme song like from the old movies in there. We finally got that.
Yeah.
But overall, what did you think of it?
This is so I thought it was just an okay movie. I thought the action was very good with the monsters fighting each other was good, and I liked that there were it was really focused on Godzilla with a lot of the action and stuff was great. I just thought that the human characters were very stupid, like we mentioned, and the plot could have been done a little better. It was an okay movie. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was actually better than the last Godzilla movie, but it wasn't like that much better. But it was better because we got to see Godzilla more and we got to see all the other monsters. I did like to see Mothra and all that was pretty cool.
I also did like the character arc of Kyle Chandler about how he went from hating Godzilla meant to more appreciating him.
Yeah.
I liked that. And I also thought that Ken Watanabe's character's sacrifice at the end was pretty powerful. But I do kind of wish that we got more character development from him though.
Somebody said, I saw Shazam. That was a good movie. Yeah, I really enjoyed Shazam.
I haven't seen that one yet, but
you haven't seen Shazam, Eric?
I probably will have to check it out on Redbox. So speaking of superhero movies, I just saw this article on comicbook.com. X-Men Dark Phoenix is a bigger bomb than Josh Trank's Fantastic Four.
The fact that they took X-Men out of the title, though, what's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know why either. I mean, X-Men is pretty... it's a famous name.
Well, so I think that Fox didn't care anymore because they're losing X-Men rights. They were just like, whatever.
Yeah, and they probably just wanted to put the movie out, and and the fact that people now more so care about the X-Men joining the MCU, so maybe that's why.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but with Josh Trank's Fantastic Four, That's a movie that should have been good. I mean, the fact that they got Josh Trank, who did Chronicle, and Chronicle was an awesome movie. And so, and then therefore, it should have been a good movie.
Yeah. Eric, did you see John Wick 3? Someone asks.
I've only seen the first one.
Me too. I don't really care for John Wick, to be honest.
You're actually one of the very few people I have heard say that.
I know.
What is it about John Wick that you just don't care about?
I mean, to me, the story of John Wick is just basically action and revenge, and it's like so plain, and I've seen it so many times, and I know how it's going to end. Right. And they make him too invincible. Nobody could be like how he is. It's just impossible. I just can't enjoy it. I don't know. What do you like? What do you not like about it?
I guess I just never got into it, but
the thing is, I like action, but there's got to be some story behind it, and I feel like John Wick lacks in that department.
Yeah, I kind of agree, but I just kind of felt like that there could have been more story out of it, but interesting news. So it's not official, but but the guy from White Chicks, Terry Crews, he apparently wants to play Triton in the live action Little Mermaid. Look at that.
That's funny.
Terry Crews as King Triton? What?
What about Hellboy? Which Hellboy?
The new one I heard was garbage.
The new one, I didn't even see it because I heard it was so bad.
I didn't see it
either. And honestly, Ron Perlman was just perfect choice for the first time.
He was, and and it's kind of unfair on David Harbour's part because he was just doing his job, and he probably thought it was going to be bigger than he thought because Hellboy's well known and all that. But yeah, I just kind of feel like that. People just didn't want a reboot of that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because the fact that audiences are getting too tired of reboots. Like that. Maybe that could have affected its box office.
No, I agree, yeah.
But yeah, and the fact that people wanted Hellboy 3, they never wanted another reboot.
Have y'all seen Men in Black? Someone asked. Nope, and I do not care to. Without Will Smith and Tommy Lee, that's not Men in Black to me.
And it sucks for Chris Hemsworth. It's because every movie he's done outside of Thor has been a reboot of something, and they all have failed.
Yeah.
Like Vacation.
I like Chris Hemsworth.
I do too, but maybe he needs to fire his agent or something. Because every movie he's done outside of Thor has been a disaster.
Yeah.
Like Vacation, Ghostbusters, and now this. Interesting. So Jeremy Renner apparently turned down. He apparently turned down Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy. Was he offered?
That's good. I wouldn't want him. I would not want him to be Hellboy in the first place.
Yeah, I don't see him as Hellboy either. Oh, so it says that he turned down the role of. He didn't turn down Hellboy. He turned down the part of Agent Myers.
Oh. Texas says it's stupid anyway. It's referring to Men in Black. Yeah, I would imagine it's pretty dumb.
But yeah, it's just that new Men in Black looked extremely forced.
I mean, it's just so stupid with the movies. They're just trying to use the title to lure people in.
Right. Yeah, and it also was weird that they didn't get the same director. Instead, they got the same director of Straight Outta Compton and The Fate of the Furious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
When's
speaking of Fast and the Furious.
Hobbs and Shaw coming out?
Yeah, it looks like a fun popcorn movie.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be.
I mean, I'm not gonna go in with too high of expectations. But yeah, but I heard that Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Vin Diesel, they had such a conflict with each other in the Fate of the Furious. Man, I don't know why. Like,
They
why
had a
do
what?
So when they're filming the Fate of the Furious, Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Vin Diesel just really didn't like each other.
Oh wow.
And then therefore, if you watch the movie, you will notice like that they never like that they are never in like this the same shot with each other. So then they had to film their scenes separately. It was because the tension was just that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why they hate each other so much.
I don't know. I just I think I know the reason. I think the reason was because Fast and the Furious was Vin Diesel's franchise, but now The Rock has taken it over.
That
And
could maybe be why. I mean, especially
I'm just trying to I'm trying to think what it could be, and that's what I'm
that
assuming.
could be it. And the fact that Vin Diesel hasn't had that much of hits outside of that. I mean,
And The Rock is like 10 times bigger than Vin Diesel now as an actor.
yeah, and the fact that the only hit that Vin Diesel has had like was being in Guardians of the Galaxy. But even then, I mean,
He's just a tree that says I'm Groot all day.
right, and also the fact that he barely has any lines. So
Yeah.
but yeah, maybe that could be why. But
Yeah. Don't you think Dwayne Johnson is in too many things though? Like come
oh,
on.
I do understand that, and I totally get that. I mean, the fact that he's in so many movies now.
Like Jumanji. What do you think about the Jumanji sequel, I think?
Honestly, that was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, was it perfect? No. Did all the jokes land? No. But when the jokes landed, they landed, and I thought it was hilarious.
Hmm.
And I also appreciate the fact that they were more creative with it, and it wasn't just a board game again because we already saw that in the other one.
Yeah.
But with this new sequel coming out, it kind of looks like a repeat of the last one. But yeah, but what did you think of Jumanji? Well, Welcome to the Jungle.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This Welcome to the Jungle, I thought was decent. It was okay, like you said, it was pretty entertaining. The fact that it wasn't a board game was cool because it kind of like it's a reboot, but it like changed what we saw from the original. So I did like that, but do not like how the sequel is looking so far. I hope that I'm wrong, but
But yeah, it's like I understand that the last one was a huge hit, but it's just but just don't just repeat it. It's like try to do something different.
this is crazy. Okay, so this guy says they should make a Donald Trump movie of him killing Mexico. What?
That's random.
Why would we want to see that? I don't want.
I don't. Yeah,
It
why
was
would
so
we?
crazy when I found out Donald Trump was in Home Alone 2. I was like, oh yeah.
Right, he actually was. Oh yeah, speaking of presidents, so I actually heard a rumor, and Dwayne Johnson actually he he said that he wants to have more experience first, and then he will go into it. But Dwayne the Rock Johnson wants to run for president
And let me
someday.
tell you this, Eric. If he ran for president, he would win within a blink of an eye.
And I think that we know why.
Yeah. I don't want him to win, but he would win.
Now, does the idea of him being president sound cool? Yeah. I mean, if he won, he would be the first. He wouldn't be the first movie star president, but he would be the first wrestler to and then become a president.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't want to vote for him just because he's famous. I want to vote for him like for what he actually has to offer to help our country.
What do you think about The Rock being in Black Adam?
It's interesting. I thought he was going to be in Shazam, but I heard that he's not.
No, they changed it at the last second. He was supposed to be in that movie, but
why did they change it?
they changed it because they wanted to make a standalone Black Adam film and then bring him into it. Um, but originally that was what was supposed to happen, but then they changed it into a different thing. And I kind of like how they changed it. Because I did like the villain. I
Right.
really enjoyed the villain for Shazam.
So I actually never knew this, but Dwayne The Rock Johnson had his first acting role in 1999 when he played his own father in That 70s Show.
Yeah.
I never even knew that was his first acting role was in That 70s Show.
Yeah.
I never even knew that.
Yeah, me
And
neither.
he also was in an episode of Star Trek Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Never
That
knew
I
that.
knew. Yeah.
But it wasn't until his first movie, actual movie role was in The Mummy Returns, which has that horrible
Oh
CGI.
my god.
Yeah, that CGI was terrible.
The Mummy Returns. I don't want to talk about that with this The Rock.
I mean, it had good moments, but man, that CGI was terrible.
That's what I'm referring to. The CGI was bad.
Oh yeah, it's so bad. It's like PlayStation 1 graphic bad. And then he did the Scorpion King, which they're still making sequels to that to this very day, even though that they rebooted the Mummy franchise.
Yeah.
Did you ever see any of those sequels?
No, I just saw the original Scorpion King.
Yeah, I never saw these sequels.
Mm-mm.
They looked forced.
Yeah, that's just too much. Wow, Dwayne Johnson was on Hannah Montana. I didn't know that.
He was?
And because remember he was going through like a Disney phase for a little bit.
Right, yeah.
The
Like how
game
he did
plan,
Race
and
to
he did
Witch
all those
Mountain,
movies.
Planet 51, The Tooth Fairy, the other guys.
Oh my god, I remember ranting about that. The fact that he did Tooth Fairy and all that. I'm like, you are way better than that.
I actually remember seeing The Tooth Fairy in theaters, and I was like, this movie's terrible. But the only reason why I saw it in theaters is because I was with my parents, and they they went to a movie that I didn't want to see. But the problem was that at that point in time, I didn't have a car or a license, and I had to be with them for whatever reason. So and then my parents were like, okay, fine, who can watch some other movie while we watch this? And so I was like, well, I guess I'll bite the bullet and I'll just watch the Tooth Fairy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Tooth Fairy came out almost 10 years ago now.
I know. Can't believe it's that long ago.
Damn, I feel old.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there was the sequel, like with Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, Eric does have a YouTube channel. It's right there. EricVierthaler92. That's his channel.
Been on YouTube for 10 whole years now.
Do you guys support the LGBTQ? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there is some controversy about it, but I mean, just my own opinion. It's not my business what someone's sexuality is. I mean, it's their life. But it's just as long as they just don't overstep their boundaries, I have no issue.
Exactly.
I mean, I have had gay guys hit on me before, and they went way too far with it. But at the same time, though, I have met some gay people who actually are pretty chill and whatnot. So I don't care what their sexuality is. Just don't overstep their boundaries.
Amir, you should make. Someone said I should make a politics channel.
A politics channel? That was random.
Oh
Maybe
no,
they
man,
say
I can't do that.
Maybe they say that because of how we talked about Dwayne The Rock Johnson being.
No, we also talked about Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump. But yeah, but you're not a fan of Donald Trump, right?
Oh hell no, I cannot stand him.
I am not either, which I hope to God that he's not going to go for a second term. He's such an idiot.
But he is going for the second term, and I hope somehow he loses it. By
Yeah,
the way,
it's like
somebody subscribe to you, Eric. Philip Lindsay subscribe to you.
Thank you. But yeah, I know that he's going to try to run for a second term, but I hope, like you said, that he's not going to win.
Yeah.
I even heard that Bernie Sanders is going to try to run again.
Hmm.
I don't know about Hillary though. I mean, she tried twice already and she failed, but it's just what really killed Hillary's chance. It was the whole email controversy.
Yeah.
I mean, that really killed it for her.
Yeah, but I don't get Trump. He said grab him by the P word, and nobody cared. They still voted for
I
him.
mean,
What?
I'm sure that there are people who had an uproar about that, but
I'm saying he still won. You shouldn't have won after saying
still
something
won.
crazy.
People were saying at that time, "Oh, well, I have to pick the lesser of the two evils." I'm like, "Well, you could just vote for a third party,
Yeah,
or you can just not vote at all."
exactly.
Which it was because that I didn't like Hillary or Donald, and I knew nothing about Gary Johnson, and I didn't want to vote for somebody who I didn't know anything about. So I'm like, you know what? I just won't even vote.
Hmm.
During the last election, who did you vote for?
I actually didn't vote.
I can understand why, because
I did
President Trump
not
was
like
better.
Hillary, and I was just so anti-Trump. It just didn't make sense for me to. Plus,
Oh
in New
yeah,
York, I live in New York, so I knew Hillary was gonna win regardless. Like,
yeah.
win the state.
I live in Montana, and I can't remember which of the two won in my state. If I did research, of course, I would find out. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, so what was funny is so Trump actually had a rally here last summer, and I actually did decide to join the protest, and then they actually had me wear an inflatable dinosaur costume. Man, I had a sign that said Trump's policies are so bad that even the dinosaurs noticed. That was funny. Yeah, but man, it was so hot to be in that costume during the summertime.
He said, I didn't vote either because I'm 14.
You're too young anyway, but yeah. But man, I swear to God, if he goes for a second term, I'm gonna go insane because he's just such a disrespectful president. I mean, the fact, but the things that he said, and he's such a pig.
Preach, Eric, preach.
And the fact that he wants to waste our time and money on that stupid wall, like to
And the fact that he raised taxes on all of us.
for that stupid wall, and that wall is such a waste of time and money because people
Eric,
can have to climb
Eric,
over it.
you have a job, right?
Yeah, I do.
So when you have a job, you obviously file your taxes.
Yeah.
So when you filed your taxes, was this the first year you did it or the second year?
I can't remember, but yeah.
Well, if you did it anyway, the point is that the tax returns went down, and we're actually getting charged more for the taxes because of Trump's new tax law that came out like 2 years ago or a year ago.
Yeah. Oh, Trump. I just don't get what people see in him.
I don't know, but this guy said the wall helps out the country. I don't see how, but okay.
Like I was trying to say, people can either climb over it, dig underneath it, like vandalize it, like that.
Break it down.
I mean, heck, people can't even fly over it. It's like that wall ain't gonna do anything.
When does election day start? When did this stream become about elections and
Right, and it's become a political wall.
It became a political debate more than like a movie thing now.
No, it actually went.
And the funny thing is, Eric, that all these people that are talking about this stuff, they're kids and they can't even vote.
Right, and that's saying a lot. But yeah, but this talk ended up that way. It was all because of how I brought up that Dwayne the Rock Johnson wants to try to run for president.
And the Trump stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, were you a fan of Obama?
I was. I voted for Obama. Well, the first time I was a fan of him. The second time I wasn't.
Why
I
not
voted for him the first time. He got my vote. And the second time I didn't vote for anybody. Again.
Yeah.
I just did not. In the first one, I didn't like John McCain at all. I did not want John McCain as president.
Yeah, didn't he die? Like
Just
last
recently,
year?
he passed away.
But yeah, I don't know enough about John McCain, but with Obama, there are some things I didn't like about him, but there are some things I did like about him. But at least he's a much he was much better than Trump ever will be.
So the guy said that it keeps terrorists out and illegal immigrants. He's talking about the wall.
Well, like I said, I mean, that wall isn't always gonna stop everybody.
Yeah.
They can find other ways.
Plus, what Brendan Rodgers, the guy that's talking about this, doesn't understand is that your parents are paying for that wall. We're all paying for that wall with our taxes,
whether we want to or not.
And we have no choice. Yeah, exactly. It's terrible.
It's stupid. It's because that that is our hard-earned money.
Yep. I mean, the thing is you work, Eric, so you can understand it more than I work. But I don't know if Brendan Rodgers works or any of these kids do. When you work and you realize that your money's going to stupid places, it just really pisses you off.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely, and especially knowing the fact we busted our butts off for that money.
Yeah.
And it's going towards that.
Yeah, but you don't have to. Okay, he says his parents are Trump supporters. You don't have to go by what your parents are. You go by what you think. You
right,
research. Like, you find out the important stuff, and then you don't just get brainwashed by what somebody else tells you. But you're a young kid, so I mean, I can't really hold it against you at the same time.
Right, it's like you should think for yourself.
Yeah. Like my parents, I like Bernie Sanders. He's my favorite candidate.
Mm-hmm.
But my parents like somebody else. They don't like Trump, obviously, but they like somebody else.
Right, yeah.
Trump is changing the country for the worse, not for the better, Brandon. We've had more school shootings. We've had a lot more violence in this country because of Trump.
I mean, the fact that there's like a school shooting almost all the time, and the fact it's happened so much, for lack of better words, it's kind of in the norm now, and many know it. I shouldn't be saying that.
Brandon Rodgers says he hates the LGBT community. Whoa, he said he hates the LGBT community, and Hillary supported it.
Wait, so he had that? Wait, he said, what about that community?
He hates the community, and he hates Hillary Clinton because she supported it.
Why does he hate that community?
Let's start there. Why do you hate the LGBTQ so much? Do you like Joe Biden? No, I'm not a big fan of Joe Biden. He's too much into that corporations and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter. That's the guy I like.
I also am. I actually voted for Bernie when he was running.
Me too. Me too.
But unfortunately, he just didn't.
You cannot eclipse Hillary Clinton. I kind of feel like it was rigged so that he would lose.
Maybe
okay,
not.
Eric, he answered it. He said, because they sin against God and it's not right.
Well, that's a can of worms in of itself. And so, yeah, religion, I mean.
It says, why would you want to be a homo? He said, why would you want to be a homo anyway?
I mean, you will get a lot of answers from, Christians and religious people about the LGBT community. I mean, it really depends on who you talk to, about that.
I can't believe this is what we're discussing.
but I definitely recommend that he reads the book, The Lost World of the Torah, like by John Walton. He actually talks about that, and he's a biblical scholar. So
he said his religion doesn't support it, so he should hate them, I guess.
Well, like I said, you'll get a lot of views on that.
A lot of religions don't support it, but they don't say that you should persecute them for that.
Right, and it even says in the Bible, like, to love thy neighbor.
Yeah, it doesn't say except if he's gay.
Right.
God doesn't support it either, Brendan Rodgers says. Now this became a religious debate. Are you serious?
We went from movies to politics to religion.
He said God doesn't support it. I swear, this guy, when he comes to my stream, his name's Brandon Rogers, he always changes the topic from movies or sports or whatever I'm talking about. He changes it to like religion or this other stuff. Like, I don't care about this, to be honest. Like, that's not what my channel is. It's the movie critic, not the political critic or not the whatever religion critic.
That's even what he did now. And so I'm curious, is he also against evolution? Because there are some Christians who are and there's some who aren't. So I kind of wonder, is he against evolution?
Rogers. Okay, his name's Brandon Rogers. He's a total guy that loves to fight and cause controversy. He fights with a lot of people, and if you don't see his views, he gets really mad. But what was the question again? If he believes in evolution? Do you believe in evolution, Brandon Rogers? Or do you think there's no such thing? I believe in some of it. I mean, I'm not totally against it.
I mean, it's just, for me, there's just so much evidence for, things changing over time like that. I just can't just ignore all of the evidence. But I mean, evolution doesn't even disprove God anyway. It's because the fact that just because you have a naturalistic explanation for something, it doesn't disprove God. Is because it says in the Bible, in Acts 16, and like that God freed Apostle Paul from a cave and light by using a earthquake. And so evolution doesn't even disprove God.
The two can definitely coexist, and Brandon Rogers says he does not believe in it.
I was kind of starting to think so.
But... and the funny thing is, Brandon Rogers, I know Eric, and I think he is religious because he went to church today.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I'll tell you that. And like, the thing is, it's okay to be religious, but you should still be open to other concepts as well.
Right. Yeah. And I'm not one of those ones like who will say,
He said, why do you guys support LGBTQ?
So I'm assuming that you're an agnostic.
Who?
You?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I follow religion.
Which one?
I'm a Muslim.
But yeah, going back to evolution, it's just the fact that there are so many Christians who do accept it. Like there's Francis Collins who did the Human Genome Project. He accepts evolution, and Robert Baker, who is a famous paleontologist, he actually is a preacher, and he accepts evolution, and there's so many others, but it's like, the Bible never says, like that you can't accept evolution. It never says
that. What about the LGBTQ? What's it say about that?
What about me and that community?
Yeah. Why do you support it, he asks?
Well, it's because the fact that I actually have like a grandma who's a part of that community, and the fact that she's a part of my family, and I don't want any tension between her and I, and the fact that she's been very supportive of me. I've had friends who have been of that community. I mean, I won't say like that I'm a big enough supporter, like I'll go to all their walks, all their events. I mean, I don't mind it being there. Now, do I understand why some people are against it? I understand that. I don't want to get too much into it because it's a really big can of worms, but but also, and the Bible also does say to love thy neighbor too. So
he's really against the whole gay and homosexual thing, and he's so I told him I wanted to see the Elton John movie. And he said, why do you want to see Elton John movie? He's gay. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's like, that's not your problem. I mean, it's his.
Yeah. I didn't even get to see that movie then.
But yeah, I haven't seen it either. But the reason I have seen it has nothing to do with Mountain John's sexuality.
Yeah.
Excuse
I
me.
don't know. I just think that, especially on YouTube, I would rather us stick to movies.
Yeah, we got severely off
But
topic.
people always change the topic, and I hate when they change it to something that's so
Not
outrageous
relevant.
and irrelevant to what I gotta do.
But
Brandon
yeah,
Rogers, you can't hate. Okay, he says he hates Elton John. You can't hate Elton John just because he's gay. That's a stupid reason to hate him. You don't know him.
right.
And
It is.
actually,
It's like you haven't.
Elton
You
John
haven't
has
even met
helped
him.
out people become sober and stuff. Like Eminem said, he would never have gotten sober if it wasn't for Elton John.
Right, and then you can't just hate him just because of that.
Yeah, that's the only reason he hates him too.
And also, well, like I said, the Bible says, "Love thy neighbor," and so it means even be nice to people who are gay.
He said it's okay to change the topic. It gets more conversation. But no, Brandon Rogers, I don't want to talk about that. This is the movie critic. I want to talk movies or shows, and that's it. Not this stuff.
Right.
This stuff is so controversial, and this is not my. I don't have a political or religious channel. If I had that, that'd be okay for you to talk about it there, but I don't have that. So
right, but it's not. So, but yeah, it's just I don't care if other people have their religions. I don't care if they have their political views. But it's just but just don't be an asshole.
So back to movies.
Yeah, let's finally get back on movies. So, one movie I want to see is like that one movie about the people who are trapped in that house with like the crocodile in it.
Yeah, what the hell is that called? I've seen the trailer. But
I forgot its title, but that looks really interesting.
There's this
maybe
movie.
That a concept like that has been done before, but it's just this one looks like it's gonna be done well.
No, but there's also this movie coming out that I saw the trailer for in the movie theater that was so weird. It was like this girl's getting married, and they're like, we have a ritual to perform. And they're playing hide and seek, and they're trying to kill. Have you seen this trailer? For this movie?
It's not ringing a bell to me.
Okay. So you've probably never seen the trailer because you would know exactly what I'm talking about then.
I mean, if I have, I don't remember it.
Yeah, so basically what happens in this movie is a guy gets married to this girl, right? And she's for her to get accepted in the family, they have to play a game. And the game is hide and seek. So, but the whole time, they're just trying to kill her.
Yeah, that's not ringing a bell at all. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
forgot
when does that come out?
In August, sometime.
So pretty soon then.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna look up the name. I can't remember.
I also wanted to go see Ma, but I just haven't had a chance to see that yet.
Oh. Yeah, it wasn't that great.
Oh man, that sucks. It's because when I saw the previews,
you were looking forward to it.
Well, right, I was. I actually was excited for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you thought it sucked? Why?
It didn't suck. It wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be.
Oh.
Like it was probably if I was to rate it, probably like a 6 out of 10.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, the movie's called Ready or Not.
Yeah, it's definitely not ringing a bell at all.
So you didn't see the trailer. So basically, the summary is a bride's wedding night takes a sinister turn when her new in-laws force her to take part in a terrifying game. And in the game, they just try to kill her. Like, it's crazy. I'm trying to wonder what that movie is going to be about. I kind of want to see it. Because it's like a thriller.
And who is that being done by? Is that being done by Blumhouse.
I think Blumhouse is doing it. Yeah. Are you a Blumhouse fan?
I won't say that I like all their movies. I mean, they have made some pretty bad movies, especially their Truth or Dare movie, which I heard was terrible. But they have made some good movies, and I heard that they're trying to acquire the rights to Scream, and they're trying to acquire Friday the 13th, and they're trying to get Nightmare on Elm Street too.
Yeah, yeah. Weren't they the ones? They made the Halloween remake, right?
Blumhouse made the one that came out last
year. That's what I'm talking about.
But it wasn't a remake; it was a sequel.
Oh, a sequel, yeah. You know what I mean. It has the same title, though. What the hell?
Right, which is stupid to call the same thing.
But the thing is, I guarantee you, Eric, nobody's going to remember it's a sequel in the future. Because in the future, when they see it, they're not going to be like, oh, this is Halloween. Like, we know it now because they told us.
Right.
But in the future, they wouldn't have all that information.
Unless if they did the research prior, but it's just what are the chances?
It's just so much research to do, though, and where are they going to find all of that info?
Right, and
what's the next Halloween going to be called? That's what I really wonder.
But like I said, I don't want to be too redundant. Just please don't call it Halloween 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, just please, for the love of God, don't do that. But
we would have 3 Halloween 2s if that happens.
And that won't make any sense because the last one technically is the new Halloween 2.
Yeah. So what if they, like I said, what if they call it Halloween 3? We've never had a Halloween 3 ever in the franchise. Ever.
Well, never had a Halloween 3, a movie called Halloween 3 with Michael Myers.
Which is what I mean. Because I don't consider Halloween 3 Season of a Witch anything to do with this.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. Halloween 4 technically was Halloween 3, but at the same time, the Halloween H2O also is Halloween 3 also.
You know, it's not H2O, it's H20.
That actually makes a lot more sense. It's because
H2O sounds like water.
Right. But it's just the fact that everybody called it H2O, and so that I just thought that that's what it was called. But
what's up, Shandy? I haven't seen you in a while, Shandy. What's going on? We're talking about Spider-Man and just all movies right now.
And so Blumhouse wants to make the next Scream. Now, obviously, it's not going to be done by Wes Craven because he died. So they're going to have to get someone else. So,
right.
So what are your thoughts? Who do you think they should get to direct? I mean, I think that James Wan's kind of like, yeah, James Wan would do a good job, but it's just, you know, I kind of think that they should let somebody else do it.
I only want James Wan to do it. The reason I know it sounds like, what the hell? Why? Well, because James Wan is just so perfect. He reinvented like the horror genre for the new generation.
Yeah, he pretty much did what the first Saw.
That's what I'm saying. The first Saw was such a cool concept, so new at the time.
And not just that, but he also gave us 2 other horror franchises like Insidious and
Conjuring.
And The Conjuring.
Yeah, and Insidious. I forgot about Insidious. Have you seen Brightburn? They ask, Eric.
But yeah, he did Insidious 1 and 2, but it seemed like once when he stopped directing those movies, the Insidious movies went downhill.
Yeah, of course. Have you seen Brightburn? They ask. Shandy asks.
Nope.
I haven't seen it either. I wanted to, never just got the chance.
But yeah, and okay, so what about the Blumhouse Scream? Do you think it's going to be Scream 5, or do you think it's going to be a sequel to the first Scream while and ignore all the other sequels? Or
well, if they do that, isn't that the same thing that they did with Halloween?
Which I kind of have a feeling they might do that. It's because they did it with Halloween, and even Terminator 6 is doing that. But it's going to be a sequel to Terminator 2. So
Terminator 6. I can't believe there's so many.
But yeah, and the fact that there hasn't been a good Terminator since Terminator 2, and that was back in 91.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if they make it a sequel to Scream 1, that would be cool because of the fact we can finally get Randy back.
Brightburn is an awesome movie. It's pretty much what it'd be like if Superman was a villain. I know. I really wanted to see it, just never got the chance.
But yeah,
probably watch it when it comes out, like on Netflix or DVD or whatever.
what would be cool? Well, I like if Blumhouse got the rights to Friday the 13th and Nightmare.
Say that again?
I was saying that I think it would be cool if Blumhouse did get the rights to Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, is because then that would mean that they could possibly could do like a crossover with Halloween.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I really want Blumhouse to get Nightmare on Elm Street.
I do too.
The thing is, I want Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger to have the same production company. That way, they don't have any issues.
And it also would be cool to see the crossover.
Yes, there actually was supposed to be a Nightmare on Elm Street. There's supposed to be a Freddy versus Michael. It just never happened.
Oh, I actually never even knew that.
Yeah.
When was that supposed to happen?
Well, right after Freddy versus Jason, they wanted to introduce Michael Myers into the mix.
But the reason why that they didn't is because they just didn't have the rights.
They didn't have the rights, obviously. And I saw Ma. I thought it was okay. Eric still has not seen Ma.
They also wanted to have Pinhead come in, but they didn't have the rights to him either.
Yeah, Pinhead is awesome.
But I mean, poor Pinhead. I mean, all of his movies now, I've heard that they've been terrible. Like Hellraiser Revelations, man, the one that came out last year.
Right.
And they've been trying to make that remake for like the longest time, but I'm starting to think that remake is never even gonna happen now. But yeah,
I really can't wait till you see Annabelle, because I think that one thing about Annabelle I liked about it was that they brought everything that they got from The Conjuring was in the house. I thought that was a cool thing.
And it's also cool by the fact that they were able to get the Warrens back.
Yeah. The only problem with Annabelle for me was that we didn't get enough of it. I wish we had more of it, but it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it, that part of it.
Right.
So, are you planning to watch Annabelle anytime soon?
I've been debating on it. It's just the mixed reviews have been kind of making me kind of skeptical of seeing it in theaters, but I'm not sure if I'll see it in theaters or if I'll just wait till Redbox. But
it's Annabelle very good,
sure.
very talented actors, and that's what's great. Okay, so it's not a spoiler, but most of this movie takes place with the kids and the doll, and that's what makes it so terrifying, that there's no adults.
Right.
So you're gonna love that if you ever.
It's because of their kids, they're gonna be a lot more vulnerable.
Yeah, and you're gonna enjoy that, and I enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Conjuring 3, though. I really cannot wait for that movie.
Although I am worried that's not done by James Wan, but
I mean, yeah, but I think he is still producing it, if I'm correct about that.
Yeah, he is, but
the thing is, I love Patrick Wilson, as he's just so perfect for the horror franchise. What do you think about Patrick Wilson?
I like him as an actor. I actually noticed like in the Aquaman movie, you actually do for a little bit. You actually do see the Annabelle doll.
In which movie?
You actually see the Annabelle doll briefly in the movie Aquaman.
Oh yeah, that's pretty funny.
Which I actually think that I'm one of the few people who actually noticed that.
Yep. And isn't it crazy that Patrick Wilson was in Insidious and The Conjuring?
Right.
He's just James Wan guy all the way, all the way through.
And also in the fact that he also wasn't, and in the fact that he also was in Aquaman too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, obviously James Wan likes working with him.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy about The Conjuring is Ed Warren and those people are actually based on real people.
They are, or they're not.
They are.
Right? Yeah, I heard
Warren
about
just
that.
died this year. She just died. Ed Warren's been dead for a while, but Lorraine Warren died this year.
Yeah, she was pretty old from what I saw.
So that's why the Annabelle movie came out this year to pay tribute to her. And
I kind of wonder, what did she think of all those Conjuring movies?
I think they went on like those panels and stuff, and she used to always like. I think she supported them. What movie did you see Annabelle in? Aquaman. That was the answer.
Yeah, you actually see the Annabelle doll very, very briefly in it. I mean, you have to be really, really paying attention.
Damn, y'all are live. Respect. Yeah, we're still live.
Yeah, how long have we been live now?
2 hours and 46 minutes.
Oh, holy crap, it's almost 3 hours.
Yeah, I did a live stream yesterday. That was 4 hours.
Damn, dude, like that's like just as long as just as long as Titanic.
Yeah, actually,
That's
4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours is longer. I need to get your Titanic opinion, actually. And I think you said that you liked it. Oh yeah, you were Eric's the person that he saw Titanic and had no idea that the ship was gonna sink because he saw the movie after he found out the fact, and before he found out the fact.
Yeah, but at the
which
same time,
to this day find hilarious. Because when I saw that movie, I knew that was going to happen.
But I mean, when I first saw Titanic, I was like a little kid, and that's probably why.
What is your thoughts on the movie?
On the movie Titanic?
Yeah.
I like the movie. I love the music. I think the music is very moody, man. And it gives you chills. It makes you think, what if that was you? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I can understand why it would turn people off. It's because of how long that movie is. It's definitely not a movie for everybody if you don't like watching movies that long. But they did get a lot of things. But they did get a lot of things right about about what happened on that night when the Titanic sunk.
Mm-hmm.
And now, granted, even though that there never was a Rose or Jack, I mean that was what they just made up for that movie. But even though there was a Joseph Dawson who was on Titanic, but that's just a big coincidence.
Yeah.
And I actually did buy the fact that Rose and Jack fell for each other, even though it's been talked to death about how there was enough room on that door, but it's just but they were in pure survival mode. Man, it's just that it was just kind of clear like that Jack wanted Rose to live. And there actually have been like some parody like movie posters and trailers about about what if Jack died and what if they made a sequel to Titanic.
Yeah.
But now that's a movie that never needs a sequel.
How would you make a sequel to that? No, it doesn't need a remake either.
What?
It doesn't need a remake either.
No, it doesn't. And and because of Titanic is like now the third most most profitable movie of all time. I don't think that
Wait,
they
did
ever
Avengers
really
get the
will.
#1 spot yet?
It's getting close.
It's still not there? What the hell?
Avengers is now, from when I last checked, it's $19 million away.
What?
I mean, that's not bad.
It's
But
not gonna pass Avatar?
I mean, it's getting very, very close.
I
And
mean, the
they were hoping,
Pocahontas Blue movie? Are you kidding me?
that maybe when they put in like the post-credit scene in it, that it would have helped. It did, but only made $5 million.
Yeah, I can't believe they re-released it with those scenes.
I know why they did it. It was because they wanted to beat Avatar.
I
Just
know,
that
but it's
badly.
so cheesy. What do you think about Avatar 2?
They've been talking about that for the longest time, and now I'm at the point where I'll believe it when I see it. It's just, I just kind of think that it's been too long now, and the fact the hype has died down by now, I just think it's just too late.
Yeah, but it's gonna come out according to IMDb on 2021.
Yeah.
So December 17th, 2021. They have a release date and year.
They've said that so many times.
Well, what if this time they're telling the truth?
Well, like I said, I will believe it when I see it.
When
but
you see,
yeah, what are her thoughts on the sequel?
like you said, way too long of a wait for a sequel.
Yeah, it's like it should have happened a long time ago.
I understand that they wanted to take their time
and
make the movie good, but this is way too much time.
Yeah, they're taking way too much time with it, and like I said, it's been so long. The fact that all of the hype from the first movie has all died down by now. So yeah, I just think it's too late, and the fact that he also wants to make a third one and a fourth one, it's like, dude, focus on one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just at this point, I don't really care about Avatar 2 anymore. It's just taking them too long.
And do you remember that guy Sam Worthington?
Yeah, you don't ever see him in anything.
What happened to him? He was such a big actor.
Right, it's like he did Terminator Salvation, he did Avatar, he did Clash of the Titans, then Wrath of the Titans, and then he just vanished.
All right, basically what they're saying is that Avatar 2 is supposed to come out 2021, Avatar 3 2023, Avatar 4 2025, Avatar 5 2027.
So out of all this time, we finally get a sequel, and then you release another one just a few years later?
They weren't doing one movie at a time. They were doing 5 movies.
All at once?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why, but, because it's been so long, I just kind of lost interest.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I know that they'll make money, but the thing is, I just don't think that it will make as much money as the first one did. And also, haven't you noticed, like that, after more time, when Avatar came out, a lot more people started to hate on it.
Hmm?
Yeah, like, haven't you noticed how, like, that after Avatar came out, after some time has passed, haven't you noticed, like, that a lot more people have been hating on Avatar now?
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts? Do you still like that movie?
Avatar? I thought Avatar was a decent movie, but it was overrated.
Oh yeah, it definitely was overrated and overhyped. But I mean, no. But I mean, it was hyped up because of, like, the special effects and the fact that it was James Cameron's first movie in over a decade.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just at this point, I'm like, yeah, if it comes out, great. But I'm not gonna get my hopes up.
Mm-hmm.
But they also said the same thing about Zombieland 2, and now it's finally coming out 10 years later.
I don't get why that's happening with Zombieland. I kind of get it with Avatar because it's a complex movie or whatever.
Yeah, but
Zombieland, I don't know why it took so long for them to make a sequel.
But yeah, Zombieland 2 should have happened a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of think it's too late for that sequel too, but we'll have to see how that one plays out. And they also did do that TV series, which failed epically.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Zombieland TV series?
No, I never did.
I never did either, but I heard it was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you have any more final thoughts? I kind of think that we've went on long enough now.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm getting tired because I'm trying to think what else I could think about.
Yeah, and like I said, I kind of think we went on long enough.
Do you have work tomorrow?
I don't, but I do have a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. I have a bunch of apartment stuff going on, and I also have some family stuff going on tomorrow. So I do have some stuff going on tomorrow.
When would be the next time you'd able to do a movie talk?
Well, this upcoming Wednesday or Thursday, but I would have to get back on you on that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, man. Well, thank you for the movie talk.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was supposed to be Spider-Man, but then we just went into everything.
Yeah,
I feel like we talked about every single thing that I wanted to talk about. We got to talk
politics.
about No, not that. I meant in terms of movies.
Right.
I do not care about politics. I don't care about if you're gay, that's cool. I have no issue. That's up to you. I can't control your life. At the end of the day, and I don't like Trump, and that should have never been a topic. First of all, I think that's what tired me out more than anything.
The only reason why it was because that one guy.
Yeah, one guy came in, and he does that every time I stream.
Maybe next time he does that, maybe that we just
ignore it next time.
Maybe we just I
try to. I don't want to upset anybody. I try to answer everybody's questions. But you're absolutely right. And I think we should stay on for 3 more minutes just so we could say it's 3 hours.
Okay.
3 minutes equals 3 hours. We might as well do it.
Might as well. It definitely will be.
Oh, I did have a question for you now that I remember. So you and John Ferreira are doing videos together, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, so he's been having me do a lot of his fan films. I played Michael Myers, I played Freddy, and I played the victim. I played the good guy. I played a vampire. I've played a lot of characters in his series, and him and I, and sometime this month, him and I are actually going to be doing a collaboration on What Pisses Me Off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will record some of my scenes of me ranting about some things that piss me off, and then he'll do it too, and then we'll.
Do you know what you guys should do? You guys should do a video together ranting about what pisses you off.
And and that's exactly what we are going to do.
Uh-huh. Oh, and one other thing. Have you heard anything about the Myers fan?
Well, last I heard is that he's been interviewing a lot of people. Personally, I think that they're wasting their time.
Wait, interviewing what? Like YouTubers, celebrities? Who's he interviewing?
Interviewing the director of Friday the 13th Part 6. He interviewed Ellie.
Wait, who did he interview?
Huh?
Who did he interview?
He interviewed the director of Friday the 13th Part 6. He interviewed Ellie Cornell.
Did you see any of those interviews? What did you think of them?
I saw the one where he interviewed Justin Beam from Shout Factory, but it wasn't until afterwards when I found out that Justin and Myers fan actually got into a really, really heated argument before the interview. meant then, during the interview himself, Justin, kept calm and professional. I mean, that takes a lot for him to do that after, getting into
what is his
argument
channel? What's his channel name again?
The Myers Fan 25.
Yeah, because he changed it. It's not that anymore.
Oh, it's not that anymore.
It's still the Myers Fan 25.
Now that you said that, I want to check. But yeah, and I even heard that he tried to.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, no, it is. But I want to see those interviews. He did a Child's Play review? Oh my god. Eric? Eric? Well, I guess Eric is gone. I feel. Eric? What's up, Philip Lindsay? I think Eric left. Not sure. About to end the stream. All right, guys. I'll probably do the Madden thing, Philip, later. I'll take care, everybody. Gonna end this stream. Hope you guys all have a good day. Peace.